welcome everybody on the show. This is the fellas. We're talking tonight about your dream car, which John probably has his right there behind him.
No.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, what's up?
What's your dream bus?
Well, I got the bus. It ain't my dream bus, but it's going to be close. My dream car, I think, would be a Bentley GT Coupe.
Nice.
Nice.
They're a different breed, man. I was up in New York, and Ice-T has a hardtop, and it's really nice. And right there, I fell in love with it. But then I seen a couple other ones.
I hate questions like that because it's like people ask you your favorite song, your favorite band, your favorite drum. It's like, you know what? There is no one of anything. But with cars, I would love to drive that Bentley and like take a road trip in. I wouldn't want to have to maintain it.
Yeah, oil change,
like a
$700.
Beamer or a Jag, or I'd love to have a 956, but damn, I don't want to even pay for an oil change on that thing.
Yeah. I have a friend that lives in Florida, and he has one, and his insurance is $700 a month.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm talking about.
And he said it would have been more, but he has a house here too, so he got the insurance here, and it's cheaper. If it was down in Miami, it would be even more.
Well, that's like up here on Long Island. Like everybody's from Georgia, it seems.
Oh, really?
Or oh, yeah, there's a lot of in certain areas. There's a lot of Georgia plates I've noticed. A lot of Carolina plates.
See, down here, it's the fall when the license plates change color.
Yeah. That's funny.
Snowbirds.
Cool. Right.
They piss me off to no end for the majority of it.
Right.
They don't know how to drive.
Yep.
And they clog up my roads. And they will drive around with their mouths wide open.
Really? Like they never saw it before?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tourists.
That's funny. All right, Brian, what was your if you had the money?
Well, I'm kind of torn because I would love to have a original 65 GT350.
Mm-hmm.
Shelby.
I was going to say the same thing. And even though I'm a GM guy, I love that GT350 white with the blue stripes.
Yeah. And if I had, and then, on top of that, see, that would be like what I would, that's one of them. But if I had to pick some Euro trash, it would be a Audi Quattro UR.
Mm.
Oh, that's a good
You are what?
UR Quattro 4000.
You are
Yeah.
European trash.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right. So those two cars aside, what would you pick if you had to pick something you could get in and out of and fit in comfortably?
It would probably be a 930 turbo 911. So
how about like a 79 DeVille?
79. No, because I don't have any time. I don't dress up enough to drive one of those.
Dress up.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I mean, I don't even have a members only jacket anymore.
Hey, I'll loan you mine when you're ready to go take it out for a night.
I'll tell you, while we're jumping camps here, I saw something on it was a YouTube video, and it rekindled my love for like the 67, 68 Mustang Fastback. Those 2 years, I don't know. I mean, I like all the Fastbacks, but those 2 years especially, I just love the style of that car. Always did.
Yeah.
I like that, or what is it, a 69 or a 70 Mach 1?
That's what Mike has at the shop. Yeah.
Crazy Fastback, and the headlights were like Frenched way back into the nose. Right. That's a nasty looking car from the front and the back.
That car happens to have what I think is the best front bumper design I've ever seen. It's that thin little bumper that just follows the line around. It bends twice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love that bumper. I really do.
A friend of mine here, his I think his uncle or his cousin has a 350R, Shelby 350R.
Oh, the
a newer one.
No. The 65.
5.
I want to say 65.
Yeah,
And
that's.
he bought it brand new, and let me tell you the story. This is what I've heard from my buddy. He said he went to the Ford dealership in Cleveland to buy this car, and he bought one, and they shipped it on the train, and it got messed up.
Oh wow!
So they said, "Oh, we'll get you another one." So I guess somewhere in Mentor, Ohio, they had another one. They goes, "Oh, it's white with the blue stripe." He goes, "Oh, no, I'll take that one."
Yeah.
And it was the R, so he went and bought it. Had it. He still has it. And it's in the garage, sitting on jack stands. And I guess the guy is in his 90s now.
Oh.
So it's sitting, and they're, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but I called one of my friends at Shelby that works at Shelby, and she said that car is worth $600,000.
Oh, easy,
because it's an R, and it's only I forget how many they said they made, like maybe 50 or 100.
Not even that many. Not even that many.
Yeah,
it was something like I want to say it was something like 32, but production wise there was only something like 18 or 20 of them out, because there were a handful of them that were race cars. They were they never were really vend or whatever. That's what they, when they were made, they were done, and then there was a handful of them that actually got out, but there's very little of them. A true R is really.
There's a guy here in my town who has a 65 Wimbledon white with the blue stripes, and it's decked out in road race trim with the wheel flares, the tires, the gas fill, the whole bit. And he takes it to car shows. He's an older guy, and you got to hear this thing. It just sits there and lopes. It's like bop 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 bop, like barely running. He's just like
that.
Oh yeah. And he's burning cam too, so he's got a hot motor in this thing.
Yeah,
it's like wow, just how cool is that?
Yeah, they had the on the race ones. They had the R models. A lot of them had the cutaway glass in the back, so the rear glass came up and then went up into the car, so they had like a 2.5 inch gap, and Shelby had that on because it decompressurized the cabin in race mode in it. And what was the other thing that's kind of rare that if you can find? They had it where the rear of the hood popped up a couple inches, and it got the air coming up off the windshield going down into the motor.
You said that. My buddy Mike, who lives in North Carolina, he was the test driver for the Griffiths when they were out here on Long Island. And he would take those things. He was a Suffolk County cop, so he could, and the LIE was his patrol area. So he would test them on the LIE. And, what's going to happen if you got stopped? He was a sergeant. So, but he did it unofficially. It was actually an official thing. He never really applied. He's supposed to apply for like your off duty stuff and all, and he never did. But he figured out, take my chances.
That's cool.
He took one of them down at Ocean Parkway one day. I think he had this story in his book too. And I don't remember what the speed, 100 plus, whatever the hell it was. And they found a flaw in that car. The cabin would pressurize, and he blew out the back window. It was like, whoa, just God. So they, I don't know what they did in the interim, if they did any kind of venting or whatever, but he says, got my attention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, John, what's yours?
I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He's either from Germany or Sweden. The cars are named. It's his last name is the brand of the car.
Saab.
No. Jay Leno's got one. They're like the fastest.
Oh, the
car you can
the first time I've seen Brian laugh like that.
Bugatti.
No, it's not a Bugatti. Bugatti's really nice. I'd like
Or
one of those, but
the Koenigsegg. How you say it?
that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a fast car.
Yeah. Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg, something like that.
I like the Saab, a Saab 900.
I will
Convertible.
tell you a story. Back in the
Convertible.
late 70s, I used to go to Freeport Raceway. It was a circle track, a dirt track, and they did they had modifiers, they had bombers. They used to do demo derbies, and they brought out this street class where you could bring your street car on the track and run a couple laps. And at the time, my wife's my girlfriend. She's like, "Oh, you should bring your GTO, put your car there." And like I've seen guys hit the wall and seen guys hit each other. I'm like, I just, even though the car wasn't in really in great shape back then, it's still I wasn't ready to wreck it. So and I'll tell you something. There was a guy that came out there with a Saab 9000, and he started kicking ass every single week. This guy would win, and it was just no prep or nothing, because I guess they're front wheel drive.
Yeah,
and that's probably what it was. That's probably what did it. But
guys that go up there with big old Chevys, Oldsmobiles, Buicks. All you hear is tire squeal.
Yeah,
because those 78 series tires are just rolling underneath the rim.
Nothing grabbing at all. And this Bob would just motor past everybody, and everybody hated him. But he'd win every week, legit. And
he used to do that at Islip and at Riverhead too.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There he is. I know what Terry wants. He wants a 55.
Look who it is. Let me just refill him on the screen right here. But there you go. Blah, 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 blah. Get your fill, brother.
Did you finish yet or what? Is it in the trailer on its way?
It's on its way.
Oh, nice.
It's on its way.
Cool. I'm going to be right behind it, bro.
It's on its way. It's on its way. It's pretty.
Are you going?
No, I can't make it.
A friend of mine from work, my buddy Chris is going, John, and I tell you something. I said, well, John's going. I said, maybe you bump into him. If the two of you got together,
tell him to call me while I'm there.
Somebody will be locked up.
He's only going to be there for like 2 days because he's got other stuff. But I'll give him your number.
The show starts Tuesday. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then half a day Friday.
I think he's going Wednesday, Thursday.
I'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, I don't think I'm going back Thursday. I think it's going to be a very lean show. And I honestly think I'm going to see everything that actually interests me in a day and a half.
That's good because I think Wednesday's the day he has time. He's partnered with the guy in California that does like water jetting, but there's some kind of there's a twist to it. There's a twist. They're doing something new, and this is where this guy is gonna break out.
So he'll be over in tools and machinery.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah. No problem. I always go through that because I like to look at that stuff and see what's going on. I'm meeting my body guy, the paint guy, the guy that hung the quarters on this puppy.
Right.
He's going to be there. Riley Carpenter.
Right.
I got a bunch of friends, bunch of old chassis connection buds.
I think it's going to be a really good show or either a decent show. I don't think it's going to be outstanding. It's all or nothing, I think.
Well, I'm a little aggravated that this year, and this is because of head count. I know that's the reason they're doing it. They have decided to open all of the outdoor part. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
To the public.
Okay.
That's not going to be good.
Well, you'll know this guy when you see him because he's like 6'9".
Oh, okay.
Like just look up and you'll that's how you'll find him. I'll
Terry, tell all that outdoor stuff where Ford was out there taking you for laps, drifting. Then you got all of those, right? Then you got like Mothers, all the Hot Wheels cars, all of that stuff, and then there's that whole area that was all these jacked up asinine 4-wheel drivers.
Mm-hmm.
These guys with these 26-inch tires and craziness, and the truck would absolutely never even see a puddle. Those guys just make me laugh.
Want to look pretty?
I'll put $160,000 into jacking up my truck and putting $7,000 worth of wheels and tires and another $6,000 worth of stereo and $3,000 worth of LED lights.
But don't forget the neon,
And the truck never ever sees a puddle or a speck of dust or dirt. It's like, why have a truck?
You know, we with the car show I did out here, we partnered with the guys from Exceeding Limits Truck Club, and they took everything and slammed it. I mean, literally had to cut a hole in the hood because as they body dropped it, the engine would come through the hood. So they were doing chassis drops, body drops, the whole 9 yards. So one of these shows we did, there were guys from like a monster truck club there, and they were kind of like they had some friendly rivalry going. These guys are low, and these guys. So they parked some of the low trucks under the monster trucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. Yeah, to see the perspective is like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well, that's
really
cool
wild.
side by side, sure.
Yeah.
Underneath,
But-
you know, it was
But yeah, this is the first year that they made the announcement that said all of the outdoor stuff is open to the public.
wow.
They got to do that because it'll be so empty. They have to do that.
Well, they
It's not
usually
my
would do that on
problem.
Friday.
They've lost the direction here. This is a trade only show. It's turned into a circus.
Yeah.
It's
That's
tur-
why,
John,
PRI?
time out.
Yeah.
It's turned into we need more money.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
why we're going to invite everybody in. Screw you guys. You guys had to pay, go through all the hoops, do all that. But you guys aren't putting enough money, so we need to bring other people in for money.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
going to PRI?
luckily, what's outside, I mean, it's nice. There's a lot of nice show cars. You know, a lot of the cars that are SEMA cars don't wind up inside.
No,
They
they
wind up outside, either in the front or the back. So, okay, that's really cool. I mean, but if I had a car that I was putting in SEMA, I would want that thing in a booth inside.
Yeah, sure.
You know, just because the prestige of being in there. But there's a bunch of stuff to see, but not anywhere near what's inside that guys like us are going to go take a look at, depending on the category or whatever it is that we want to, you know, look at. So, yeah, you'll get some people that may see something out there and then want to spend some money. You know, they always do like a lot of the television shows, you know, like the stuff from a lot of the car shows. They always have that stage set up.
Mhm.
And you'll see all these TV celebrities up there, you know, doing stuff. And then they'll get guys, you know, from different shows. They'll come up, they interview them, and then they do some contests. So that's kind of good for the general public.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's just that I got a problem with it. I really do. They don't belong there. You know, traditionally they open it up to the public on Friday afternoon when all the cars are coming out of the convention center. They have that huge parade. That's okay, all well and good. But I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe I'm an asshole. I don't know. But if it's trade show, it's trade show.
Yeah.
Sorry, just because you're a consumer doesn't mean you can hang out with me. That's the way I look at it.
Hey, John, when you get a chance, make sure you go to the Hotchkiss booth and check out that Trans Am.
Oh, I will, absolutely.
Make sure.
Absolutely.
And if you see one of the guys from 612, tell him Terry says what's up.
Okay. I can do that.
All right, Terry. Spit your dream car.
What my dream car is?
Yep.
Yeah.
If I had to have a dream, well, okay, any car limits, whatever, such and such.
No.
You had a box full
Anything.
of money.
It
Unlimited.
changes, man. It changes.
It's really hard for me too because I like everything. Like I like
Sure.
imports. I like muscle car. I mean, it could be
Well-
anything, but
So Terry, knowing that it's a hypothetical, impossible question, because we would all want to have like 30 or 40, just pick something.
Right now,
in mind.
if they said you have to pick a car right now, 71 CUDA,
A 71 Cougar.
Nice.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
AAR, got to be an AAR.
Oh,
Yes.
AAR is the one I like too. I would go with the
With,
AAR.
with
yeah.
the nice stripe package on it.
Gotta be
Here's a 70.
Maybe a purple.
Oh, there you go.
70 is nice, but I like the 71
Nice.
only year.
Yeah.
Well,
Plum
70
crazy.
is only year too, but I like the 4 headlights.
All right.
Yeah, actually, one of my dream cars, but see that here's the problem. It's not stock. I would love to
Doesn't
have a Plymouth Superbird or a Dodge Daytona like drag car. They're just
A
they're
drag
so
car.
ugly, yet they're so cool with
Yeah.
giant tires, slicks in the back, and a huge screw blower, you know, Hemi.
That's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
now let me throw another one in. I
put it on
threw
the
out
street.
I threw out the Bentley, but on a muscle car, or maybe not a muscle car, but like an old school, I think would be a 32 Vicky.
Wow.
That's a nice car.
Yeah, you've said that before, Lewis.
Yeah. You know,
Like
Boyd Connington
really
built that
nice
yellow one.
candy apple red.
See,
Well, no, that's like got to be like a burgundy candy brandy wine, like a
Yeah,
deeper,
that's the color I was thinking. That
with
dark,
like a buff colored interior. It's got to be
Yeah.
because I'm thinking like
Yeah.
a 34 Ford, fat fended 34.
I tell you what, we got to do to make it right. We got to do the 5 cars. You can't just.
Oh, okay.
You got to do
So,
5. Okay.
so you got like foreign car exotics. You got muscle car.
Any
Okay.
5 you
got
want.
Street
Truck.
rod.
I'm
Any
getting my
rod.
pen and paper out. My pen and paper
Daily-
out. I'm writing it down.
daily driver.
All right, Ray, start.
Go ahead, very start. 5 cars.
Well, a 34 Ford. I got to go with a 34 fat fended Ford. That's one of my favorites. 67 Mustang Fastback. Let's see. Yeah. You see, even though it's hypothetical and you could pick anything, you still try to pick stuff that makes some kind of sense.
Now, if you have the car already, you don't count it.
Yeah. You got to go. It's got to be Dream. All right. Well, I did 2. So now let's move on. We'll come back to me. Just give me a
All right,
second.
I'm gonna go with the 32 Vicky. I'm gonna go with the Bentley GT Coupe. I'm gonna go with a 69 Camaro.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with a 96 Impala SS,
I can help you there.
and I'm gonna
There's
go
one
with
down the
a-
street for sale here.
Yeah,
Beautiful car.
and I'm gonna
I
go
like
with
that
number
green
5.
one, that seafoam green one.
My number 5 would be. You know what? I'm gonna go with a Lamborghini.
Wow.
Limbo.
Countach or what?
No, I'm gonna go with the Murcielago.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I gotta go. Murcielago. Yeah, and all of them will have MagnaFlow.
I might follow Alice Cooper and go with like a 2001 Vanquish. Because that's a really sweet car.
That's a cool car.
I like that. Yeah.
There's too many to choose from.
Yeah, there are.
There are too many to choose from.
It is. If I hit the lottery, I can order. I bet you I can order 15 cars in one day. Just order them before I get home with the lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I wouldn't.
And you wind
man.
up on a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, broke.
Right now,
Broke-
like I said, it would have to
Broke
be that
dick
71
lottery
Cuda.
winners.
Have to be that 71 Cuda. Then it would have to be. I got to get 69 Rivy. I like that car.
Yeah, the boat.
No, not the Boattail. The year before, the
Okay.
69. I like that body.
Well, that would be up to 70 because 71 was the first year.
71 was the first year. 70 was kind of ugly in the front end. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
69 was like just smooth. Then I would have to probably go with your guys gonna laugh on this one, like a 50s what's called halo-eyed Volkswagen bus.
Mm-hmm.
The truck, not the bus, not the
Yeah.
van, but the pickup truck.
Oh,
My-
yeah.
My nephew-in-law's dad has one.
I love that. I always love that. You can hook those things up, flare them out, make them look really great.
What's the
69
VW
Mustang?
truck they had where the nose was the door?
Oh, like the Isetta?
Did I say it?
Like the BMW Isetta.
Volkswagen
would-
had one.
Yeah.
The whole
That's
front opened up. It was
Yeah.
the front was a door.
Like the Isetta, yeah.
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 Papa Squirrel's on
Yeah.
the 65 GTO.
Terry, check your phone. I
Nice
just sent
car.
you a picture of it. Somebody sent this. I saw this just yesterday. I guess what I should do is I'll send it to the rest of you guys.
Viper's nice. My friend had one of those blue ones.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend in Detroit. I think he might.
That's
have sold it.
Riviera.
Yeah, but that was never a car, was it?
No, it's not. It's a mashup.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
it looks like a cross between a Rivy and some form of Buick. Oh, what was it? LeSabre wagon or something like that.
I just sent it to the rest of you guys.
Hey, who watches the channel? Well, not the channel. Here it's channel. I'm used to New York Channel 7. ABC News with what's his face there, who looks like he's actually a Kennedy, but he's not. The evening news. Who
I know
watches
you're
that?
talking about.
I don't watch
You
it
got a
regularly.
young- Oh,
A
well,
young
you
guy.
missed it.
What was that?
He's a
A
young
younger guy.
Yeah. He looks like a Kennedy, but he's not a Kennedy.
David.
David, that guy David. Anyway, they had a thing last night. A guy, his mom had a Cutlass,
I saw it, the green one.
the green one,
Yeah,
and he found it
right.
because it got sold to a guy,
Oh,
and the guy never did anything with the car,
Yeah,
just kept it in the exact same condition that he bought it from the mother. And this guy pestered him for like 20-something years. And then the guy got old and he said, okay, yeah, I'll sell it back to you. And when the
Wow.
guy opened up the glove box, his mom's sunglasses
right.
and like a notepad, like her grocery list or something,
Yeah.
was still in it.
Yeah.
And they showed the speedometer, the odometer. The car only had like 44,000 miles on it.
Yeah,
wow.
It was a green convertible.
yeah. It was that electric green color.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, how cool was that?
See, I
Is his
can
mom
imagine.
still alive?
No,
No.
she's passed away.
It just so
Well,
happened I
that would be
did
great.
see that
Car
because I was
back.
watching the debate between Curtis Lewa and Eric Adams, the mayoral debate on, and it was on
Yeah.
7 the other night. So I tuned in early. So yeah, I did see that. That's a great story.
That was an awesome story.
Yeah.
Dude, this
Then
thing
my,
is
then my
sweet.
sister
Isn't
texted
it?
me and she was like, you should send them information on your car when it's done. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Now that's a Riviera. John, I sent it to you too, and Brian, you too. It's a Rivi nose, and I guess they
Oh,
grafted
he grafted it to a wagon.
some of the Buick, but it's a cool little mashup. Like
Yeah,
that's the
that
car
thing
that
is sweet.
never was.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
I got another one. A guy sent me. It's a '67 GTO, but it's like the nose is. It's like on a 4x4, like a 4x4 truck with a snowplow. It's,
You know, that's an easy graft because look at the door line. It's like almost straight up and down.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, imagine if you grafted that nose onto what's the wagon with the skylight?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's the
Buick.
wagon.
that's the Vista
Buick
Cruise.
Vista
Vista
Cruiser.
Cruiser.
Yeah.
Right.
That was Buick, wasn't it?
That nose on a Vista Cruiser would be like really cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
That was Oldsmobile, I think. Oldsmobile
Oh,
Vista
those?
Cruiser.
yeah.
Yeah.
They used to take
That's
those
a
cruisers
nice
in one van.
car.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
All
it
right, Terry,
sits
give us your
It
five.
sits real good.
It's that bugged out Volkswagen bus, a '69 Mustang, that '71 Cuda. I gotta have a '69 Rivi, and I'm not crazy about foreign cars. I'm really not. But
Don't be prejudiced.
I'm no. Okay. If I had to get a foreign car, I like that Supra. Think about that. You remember the
Uh-huh.
Supra back in like maybe 86, 84, 85?
Yeah.
That and it said Supra in the back, and it, it just had a smooth look to it.
It's so 80s.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
had a
Supra.
boss when I just started working at Leviton at the time, and my boss had one. He always had new cars, and he was an older guy, but he was a very young older guy, and he was from Europe, so he's European. And he had one of those, and we had to drive to Pennsylvania to do a job. And he says, "Listen, we'll take my car, but you have to drive." And I'm like, "All right." I thought he had like some kind of caddy or a big Buick, and no, we go out in the parking lot. They had a black Supra, a brand new Supra with a 5-speed. I'm like, "Yeah, man, let's go." He goes, "I got the radar detector. Don't worry, we'll be all right." I'm like, excellent.
Them cars are pretty awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're nice.
Steve
Very
wants a Shelby
dated-
Cobra, a real one. Those are hard to find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 All right, Brian, what's your five?
Your mic's off.
Yeah.
Just talking away.
Yeah.
I still can't get away from my original. Would be 65 GT350.
Oh God.
I still can't get away from that.
Good.
That's a cool
My
car.
UR Quattro 4000 short body, still couldn't get away. It's 87. 87
Saab.
year vintage. No, not a Saab. Stop it.
Well,
Don't make me come over there. I still have to go with my 930 slant nose 911 turbo, unfortunately.
can you pick something American, maybe?
Well, hold on.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like so into Europe stuff.
Yeah.
No, well, my Mustang's not Europe. But then I would
Comes
also
from comes from
I-
Detroit. That's like Europe.
Now,
you got to
this is-
remember. Look,
This
you got to
is
remember
fine.
now. This is with any amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is money, so I
No
can just
object,
walk
man.
in and take it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have to go with the 1987 Ford Thunderbird that
Huh.
Bill Elliott broke the track record or set the history record at Talladega, hitting 212.
Okay.
Wow.
Talking about Super-
09.
That's
Nope,
what we
sorry,
call
a
it.
turbo.
and put it on the street.
I thought you were going to say like a turbo coupe or something.
No, but I would have to take one of those, and then my everyday beater to drive around would be a Hellcat.
I'll tell you, those 89
Good
LSTs
choice.
were really nice cars to drive.
So I said I would drive a
Lincoln?
Dodge and a Hellcat. So
Yeah,
that would be my.
I tell you, man, they're monsters.
I know.
They
That
are.
Hellcat's no joke.
I go over to the body shop. I mean, I have a Chrysler dealership, and the body shop there are this lined up out there. All four sides are flattened out from that thing spinning around and just taking out everything. It's unbelievable how many of those things are just destroyed. It's pretty incredible.
When they came out with that crazy horsepower in those Dodges, it gave a little bit of a reprieve to the Mustang guys.
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah. The Mustang guys were catching it, boy.
Because there's like video after video
Well,
after video.
the Corvettes too. The
Yeah.
Corvettes
Yeah,
were getting
Corvette
loose.
guys. Yeah, Corvette guys.
My
I love those
brother.
when you watch that, they come out of like a Cars and Coffee
Oh,
or
yeah.
show,
It's just
and they
ridiculous.
just jump on it, and they're like over the island, T-boning the cars going the other way, up the curb into the tree,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I love it when somebody does it in like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't stop laughing. I'm like, boy, are you
My,
a jackass.
My brother-in-law had a GTO, the Australian version or whatever, the newer ones, you know.
0406.
Yeah, and he had all kinds of stuff done to it. And this is back when I had my 89 GT, my Fox body, you know. And I didn't have much done to it because I was still I still had the Mustang on the road. But I told him I'd race him, but he had to take his traction control off.
Ah.
Uh-oh.
You know, because he always wanted to race me, but I was like, look, if you want to race me, you got to take the traction control because I'm driving a Mustang with no traction control. So I got to learn, you know, I know how to ice skate across the road.
Yeah.
So if you want to be the same, you got to turn the traction control off, and that could never happen. That would never happen.
That's
So,
scary.
yeah.
All right, Justin, what's your 5?
Oh, that's a tough question.
It
So
really is a
number
hard.
one-
It is.
10 would be hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just like you guys are talking about them, we all probably have 30 of them that we would pick.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
69 Boss 429's always been one of mine.
Oh man, that's a good one. I forgot.
69 is like such a great
Yeah.
body.
Well, you know, it's because I was born in '69, so all of '69s is just hot. Okay.
Those 2 years.
Sounds
69.
good to
Not
me.
that you knew it back then, you know.
Yeah.
We did.
All right, proceed.
I didn't even take a
Okay.
70. I take a 70.
Yeah.
69, 70. I'm not picky.
Yeah.
Nope. Let's see what else. I agree with you on the CUDA, the AAR CUDA, because that was one of when I was a kid. We had one come in my grandpa's shop. That was like the first cool car I worked on. Was a 70 AAR CUDA 346 back car.
That's a nice car.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
Let's see
gotta
what
tell
else.
you, well, you know, I left a couple holes on my list. I got to add a gasser in on my list. I got to have a gasser.
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say. I would like a 41 Willys front end, real high. One of them moon eyes gas tanks up
Yeah,
front by
You got to
the
have
grill.
a
Yeah,
If you're gonna have a gas, you gotta have a
cheetah
Henry
slicks
J.
with the fluted sidewalls and the white wall.
I just got my new one today.
You did the video. You did a little
Yeah.
story on that. Yeah, that was cool. That's very Nova.
If you
Now,
have
my
to have
buddy-
a gasser, you gotta have a Henry J. I'm sorry. It's
Oh,
gotta be-
You know
yeah.
what? I would use-
There was a guy with a Henry J drag car in my neighborhood. Thing was crazy. It was
Yeah.
painted. It was white with this flip flop like pink, gold, green, pearl in the clear.
Yeah.
Thing was unbelievable. Used to race it at National Speedway and at the Hamptons.
That's the only car to me.
It had a Hemi in it.
That's
I
the
would
only car to
actually-
me that they should have sold as a gasser because, like,
Yeah.
in its natural form is it's ugly as hell.
I would actually go with the 55 mil mat in my driveway. Because I wanted to build it as a gasser anyway. That would be the gasser. I've even collected
All right.
parts for it.
All right, Justin, go ahead.
All right. What else do I got? Yeah, gotta have a gasser. I'm on the board with the Willies. You know,
Yeah.
41 Willies, perfect. Buick GNX,
Yeah,
Another good
another
one.
one.
What year? What year?
Always had. God, that's tough.
It's gotta
Um,
be 70. 70 is the best looking one.
well, I was thinking like the 80s.
He's
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about
National-
the turbos,
87.
the 80s turbos one.
Yeah, that was 87.
87.
I would
Yeah, national
stage,
style.
like
Okay.
the stage one car, the stage one Buick. Those are hot cars.
Oh yeah,
The 70s. You know, those are cool.
Same roof line.
So
Well, yeah.
that would be it right there.
There you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
We're gonna just call you the toy man.
That's it.
That's what you're gonna do.
Right
You're
there.
gonna have a separate window instead of selling tacos. You're just gonna sell toys outside the toy truck.
Some days you'd be amazed. Yeah.
Speaking of Chevelles, that guy from Street Outlaws, that guy Monza,
Mhm.
he always races a Camaro.
Right.
My buddy over here, Cameron Johnson Race Cars, is building him a brand new 1970 Chevelle
Really?
for No
I've
Prep
heard talk
Kings
about his new
Racing.
car.
Wow.
Yeah. He just announced it today. They just showed the picture of it. He's here. They're all here. Everybody's here because this starting. Well, they're going to be at the track tomorrow. Saturday is that No Prep Kings race at Bradenton, and
Mm.
I'm going to Vegas, so I won't be able to see it. But they're all here. All of my buddies that are involved in cars that do stuff for these guys. Everybody's got visitors. There was like 2 or 3 trailers parked in front of Steve Johnson's nitrous place today. Cameron's got people hanging out at his chassis shop. They all came in for No Prep Kings,
Wow.
and they're all checking out stuff. So yeah, Cameron, he's doing good. That kid, he's a young kid, and he's got a crew, and they're building some of the most amazing stuff I've ever seen, and they're getting a good name for themselves.
Nice.
And that stuff ain't cheap. This
No.
guy's he's like the titanium king.
Mm.
They build so much stuff out of titanium. It's unbelievable. And he's got the most fantastic welding crew. These guys lay out absolute butter welds on everything that they do. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Hey, Brian, you got a message on the screen.
Yeah, I saw that. You're talking about on like the pickup trucks, the Cyclones. Actually, I do have some. Unfortunately, they are kind of packed up in the back, but they actually just came out with a black and a red version on the Cyclones, which is a pretty good.
What was the Chevy? That was what was it? A Chevy?
That was a Cyclone with a C.
Yeah, but there was a pickup truck. GMC there was a Cyclone and
Sonoma.
Typhoon.
Yep,
Typhoon.
Typhoon,
The Typhoon was like a the
Blazer.
small. It
Like
wasn't
the
a
Blazer.
pickup truck. It wasn't the Blazer.
It was like the Blazer.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
a
like-
Cyclone with the S, so that would be like a
That was a GMC pickup.
yeah. That
Jimmy. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know where the I don't
GMC
know
Jimmy.
where I don't know where the Cyclone is. I have a 60 I have a Gaster and a 66.
Yeah. Those are nice cars. That's cool.
Wow.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Still gotta go with the Henry J.
And actually, this one's really nice, and I'm surprised it's still sitting on the shelf. There's a lot. This is a 68 Plymouth Barracuda, but the car is it's a metallic green, and this one's really a nice looking car.
How many cars do you think you have?
Well, I don't know. I couldn't count. I mean, considering that I've been collecting on and off, and I still have the ones when I was a little kid, and I'm 55. It's pretty disgusting.
No?
Making me feel
Hey.
old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
Right,
it's
Like I
good
said,
buying
and I
crap.
can't stay away. I found the first generation or Bigfoot one,
oh wow, yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
and
Now,
this
did you
one
see-
they have a clean version, and then this one's a dirty version. It looks like it's gone. You were talking about never see mud. Well, this
Mhm.
one, and then
No.
this was number 5 Bigfoot.
So listen, do you bring those right
Oh,
into the
I have a
Yeah.
picture of that truck with me standing up
In the wheel.
in the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got the same thing when I was a
From
kid.
the Street Machine Nationals. No, it was Carlisle. It was at Carlisle years ago. Carlisle Summer Show. And,
Yep.
And that was
Well,
there
Now that
standing.
original.
in the wheel.
Now
Yeah.
that first one was at SEMA. I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago. And the
Bigfoot.
original-
This was a 74. Yeah, that was Bigfoot
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, Bigfoot 1 was there, and it looked like a little kid's toy compared to some of the trucks outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Brian, what I gotta know is, do you bring that stuff in like right to the garage in a bag, like behind your back, or do you just go right through the front door?
Right through the front door.
All right, good, good.
Amazon
When-
drops it off right at the back door.
Well, that's because I
When
guess
she
there's
ain't
nobody
home.
home, right? There's probably nobody home when you get home.
Yeah.
He's got a
Just the
walk-in
door.
door that takes him directly into the garage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I can't. Well, I
Maybe
used
it's not
to,
a
but I
box.
can't do that now because it's covered up. I mean, it's it's a bad habit. When somebody says, "Hey, I want to do that," you don't go down that rabbit hole. It's
I
Yeah,
was
that's a
laughing
good-
the other
that's a
day 'cause
good
they said,
hobby.
when the tool man puts up a story on Instagram, but it's unboxing, a Matchbox car. It's like, yeah, he's got it bad.
and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but I finally got the Gas Monkey car.
Oh, nice. The Corvette.
Oh, the Corvette. That was a nice car.
That was a
Yeah.
good build. Yeah.
This one is a store. This wasn't the club version. The club car is a little different, but this is very close. They have a couple different grades of the die cast. This one you can find at your local Target right now, but like I said, I still have control. I will not spend $1 million for some of this stuff, even though I would love to. But I understand that it's still just a.
I
car.
give you credit. You're driving a tool truck and stopping at Target. It's like I'm driving my regular car, my truck, and I won't go in because of the freaking morons in the parking lot, and B, the idiots in the store. I can't be bothered, so that's why I don't go.
Oh,
Now, I
You're
can
driving
deal with
a
Target,
tool
but
truck and you do it.
Walmart.
yeah.
You know, I'd
Worse.
rather spend another dollar on an item than to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
I go to
Yeah.
Target and spend $5 more.
Well, to be honest, I've got one in my route right next to a shop, so it's not.
Okay. All right.
Just walk
And
right in.
I mean, it's not like I go out of my way, really. I mean, it's
Really?
Really?
He goes
I mean,
to
you
the
know.
shop and then he leaves the shop and he finds a parking spot and he goes into Target and everybody that works there knows him
Yeah.
because they know that he's going.
Well,
they know
the
he's
funny
going
part
to the toy
is
section looking for the newest cars.
the funny part is I don't know. I don't have any of that Japanese crap.
He sneaks in there like he's got to get his fix.
He's got the sunglasses on and like a fake beard.
And John, remember we were talking about zingers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Listen,
Nice.
there's a lot of people that got drug habits. I'd rather have a toy habit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Something you
Oh my
can
God,
pass
Johnny
on.
Lightning. I still got a Johnny Lightning race set.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of my Japanese, like I had, this is a Corolla, Toyota Corolla, 70.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's a yeah, it's a Corolla. Yeah, that's a nice
Yeah.
one. That's 73, 74.
It's like a Camaro.
I know it did.
Yeah. A lot of my younger guys, they see it in the tool truck and they say, "How much are them?" So I end up selling them and so forth. So
What do you get from? What are you like $10?
No, a couple bucks. It cost me
yeah.
$1. Huh?
You're missing an opportunity here. Come on.
Come on. I'm a collector. I'm
$10.
not here.
Pay up. sucker.
I got a guy now he's seen me a couple times and he's like asking questions. And I'm like, yeah, see, you look for this or you look for that. Some have real wheel, rubber wheel. These are different cars that you look for or so forth. And so now he's out, running around, spending all his money, thinking that he's going to get rich off the stuff. If you think you're going to get rich off this, you're not. Because what happens is they all come back to me a month and a half later when they have $300 worth of cars sitting around saying, "Hey, I need to get rid of this. I need my cash." And I was like, "Well, I'll give you 50 cents on the dollar, buddy." So
Yeah, right.
There you go.
And plus, he's got $300 in toy cars, and he hasn't paid his tool bill in 2 weeks.
yeah,
So look what you did.
so
Like I said, even if you should sell him for $10 and put $8 into his tool bill.
yeah, well, that's true.
Well, fellas, I had to call tech support at Motormouth Radio over the week. I took my alternator apart.
Oh, that
and
it was the private number, right?
Yeah, I had a private tech support.
I got that printout at the ready right here from Mitchell. I got my Mitchell information here ready in case you want to go over it. So
I ordered the parts; they're on the way.
Very good.
Excellent. So I take it apart and I hear the little click, like you gentlemen told me.
Right.
So I put my little pin in. I'm starting to push it back down, and one of the brushes broke off of the wire.
Oh, came off the string. Yeah, off the spring. That's common.
And when I was looking at it, it looked like it was only a couple little strands holding it from the start.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
it's got there's usually like a little
braided
nipple on it, and they screw it into the spring, and you got that little bit of braid, and that's it.
Like a braided thing. But
I was telling Lewis, I know that on the metal part of the brush, that's stainless steel, they resistance weld the braided wire to it. But I don't know how they attach it to the actual brush. It's like it's inside the brush material, so maybe they mold it around the wire.
It's like molded in or something.
Yeah. I guess they probably like heat press it or something. I don't know.
Well, when I first looked at it, it looked kind of weak, like it was only a couple strands holding it. So I think it would have failed me anyway, I think.
Must have been
probably
a China brush.
See, that's what would have happened if that failed in use. You wouldn't be pulling juice off of one half of the rotor commutator, and the alternator wouldn't charge, and you get the light, and it would be like all systems fail.
Yep.
And it would be like a 2-cent fix.
So Ray had all the stuff ready for me. He sent me diagrams and links and everything. So I'm good to go now. I ordered it. So it should be here.
If we got to do like a Zoom meeting and do the rebuild on the Zoom, we can do that too.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's good to do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Maybe I'll do it next week. We'll do it next week.
I haven't done a Zoom meeting in like a long time.
Oh yeah, I do them every week.
Yeah,
it used to be like all the rage, and now
it still are.
Nobody does it.
Oh, they still do in the school.
Nobody that I talk to.
All the classes at the school who had a meeting offline, it's all on Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, by taking the alternator apart, I can see everything now, and I'm not scared of it anymore. In my mind, I thought, I'll never be able to do an alternator. But once you get in there, it's like, okay, this ain't that
bad.
Did you get the kit that gave you the front bearing?
Yes.
Okay, because that's an easy fix. If you want to change that bearing, with the front of the alternator with the rotor and the plate, you grab the rotor and a 15/16 socket on an impact. Boop, you pull that nut off. It's a nut, a lock washer, the fan, a spacer, and then the rotor will push right through the bearing. You may have to support it on something and use a rubber hammer, but It'll probably come right out. And then on the back there's a retainer plate with 3 5/16 hex head screws.
Yeah. I don't. This one's not torn down far enough to see that.
Yeah, and then you bang the bearing. Now I have the tool. It's a bearing punch to take the bearing out, but you can use any big punch. And then we used to use an arbor press to press the bearing back into. It's not a really tight interference fit. You could actually lay it in and use a block of wood and a hammer. It's it just locates it. The rear bearing is the needle bearing.
Well, I have that new alternator, so.
Well, you still have a bearing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to change it right away.
Yeah. But yeah, you'll be all right. Good.
I got my garage almost done.
Nice.
I do the insulation and a couple of little things, then I can move my shop in there.
Cool.
But it rained all week, man. I was going to do the siding on it, and it rained, man. Every time I went out to work on it, it started raining on me, so I didn't want to get the wood wet.
We had it here. And then we're gonna have it again. Today was dry. We're gonna get it again tomorrow and Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah, we got a flash. We got a flash flood warning tonight for tomorrow for tonight, start tonight. So
We had it today. We had water spouts.
Yeah.
I had to go into Sarasota, and the rain was coming down so hard that it was like trying to look through a sheet of loose leaf paper.
Wow.
You couldn't see.
That's bad.
And I'm like, whoa. And that was for like probably about 2 or 3 miles, which wound up being almost 10 minutes or so of creeping along at like 15, 20 miles an hour on I-75. 3 huge accidents all on the way down. It was just crazy. And so it's gone because it like came in like an angle. So it's what's left is all the way out on the East Coast, but my local weather guy said tomorrow the Gulf of Mexico, the seas are going to be like 8 to 11 foot swells.
Is that the Peter North guy? The Peter North?
Yeah. 8 to 11 foot swells in the Gulf tomorrow.
Wow.
And the bay is going to be so choppy. He's like, if you got a boat, don't even think about going out on the bay.
Like, I came home yesterday and I parked in front of the car that we don't use all the time in front of the house. It's the secondary car. And I came in and I asked my wife, I said, hey, did you use the Mazda today? She was, yeah. No, I used it yesterday. I was like, oh, so you parked it yesterday with the windows like 2 inches open, huh? No, did I? I'm like, unless somebody else used it. So I'm like, all right, how wet is it in there? She was, no, not too bad at all, just a little bit. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, on and
There's
off
another
all
question
day,
about a
rain
Camaro.
and the wind.
I guess he's talking about John's Camaro back there.
Camaro rusty? No, the Firebird. No, that's all new panels.
Yeah.
There's no rust on that anywhere. That's all brand new sheet metal.
Things looking good.
Yeah, I don't want to roll with nothing with rust on.
Nah.
Not me, brother.
We were talking about the F bodies a couple of weeks ago, and our favorite. I think Terry, you were talking about like the favorite years of the F bodies. And I was gonna put. I'm gonna put a post up because I'm looking for some stuff. I got 2 engines in the garage that I picked up from a guy. I got a 400 and a 455, but both Pontiacs. The 455 is out of a 73. It's a YT code, so that you could build it like as an SD motor.
Yeah.
In the Trans Am or Formula.
Yep,
that's exactly. Up until what year?
73 is a definitive year for that engine, by the way.
Yes. 73 455 Super Duty.
These are the things I have to decide. Am I taking them with me when I move?
Yes.
Or am I,
Absolutely. Put it on one of those carts like I got with wheels so you can load it.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of that.
You moving to North Carolina?
Well, that's a very, very good possibility. Yeah. I was just looking.
Ray, if you take a shortcut, not a shortcut, but a detour towards I-80, come across through Ohio, you could drop off anything you need to.
Yeah, go north.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, on your way down,
will
there's
find-
a trickle effect. Just drop them all off, Ray. It's okay.
Yeah, there you go. Get lighter as you go.
Yep. Your friends will take care of it. Don't worry.
Well,
Yeah,
before
You
you
come visit them anytime.
But before you go to Ohio, you got to come by Rockland.
Right.
Well, they drop off something over here as well.
We don't want you using all that gas carrying everything, right?
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna help you
Yeah.
save some.
Yeah,
Save some money.
absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
No, that's a good Pontiac motor.
You could probably get some nice coin for that if you think about selling it.
Yeah, I forgot that it was a 73. I really did.
Yep. My buddy had a Trans Am with a 73 455 Super Duty. And when I was getting ready to go small block in the Firebird, he bought the 400 Pontiac motor from me
Okay.
and pulled his 455 Super Duty. He mothballed it, oiled it up the whole 9 yards, and then he had a guy that does that shrink wrap for boats.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
He shrink wrapped that thing,
Sure.
and it sat in his garage for like 15 or 20 years,
Yeah, yeah.
and he sold it for like a ridiculous amount of money
Yeah.
because the car was long gone by
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time.
Right,
But
right.
he kept the motor complete, and we're talking as assembled on the Norwalk
Norwood.
I think it was.
Norwood line. Yeah. From the right carburetor, the distributor. I mean, even the fan on the front of the motor,
Wow.
Wow.
everything. The original valve covers. He plugged that motor. I helped him out with the turbo 400 transmission.
Yeah.
And he sold the transmission, and he bought a turbo 400 with a Chevy bolt pattern on it.
Right.
And no, that's right. He had the Pontiac. He put my 400 in front of that transmission.
Okay. Yeah.
He had another one, a 72, that he wound up doing a Chevy to also. But yeah, he says, "Oh, I'll buy your motor, no problem."
The 402.
I was like,
See,
okay.
the Chevy 402 that I had my Monty, I have under the bench, and that's got the numbers matching carburetor, distributor, exhaust manifolds, fan, AC compressor, alternator, everything the way that thing came out of the factory.
That's exactly the
Wow.
way he did it. Yeah.
Man,
Same
look,
thing. We disconnected everything and plucked that sucker, and then he had it. He oiled it all up, cleaned it all up, and he had it wrapped up.
listen, I got a problem here.
What's the matter?
Anytime I wanted to buy something, I had to sell something else to get it. And
Yeah.
you guys got stuff under the.
I don't
the
sell
table.
nothing, man. I keep everything.
Dude, I
Man.
got plenty of stuff sitting under the table. Look at that.
I got a
one
lifetime
big
of
block.
Oh yeah.
I got
Yeah.
another big block. I got about I don't know. I'm not sure on the cubic inches on this one, but I know this one here is it's like a 598. So got a bunch of stuff
sitting under the bench.
around.
Yeah, it's
There
under
you
the
go.
bench.
How about there you go,
Yeah.
sitting on top of the bench.
Lenko,
Everybody's
yeah.
got to have a Lenko transmission just sitting there, right?
That's sweet.
There you
It
go.
almost, that's the thing. It almost hurts to put that in the car because you can't look at it on the bench
You can't
anymore.
look at it. That's it. The only thing
Oh
you see
no
is
no
the-
no. When
That's what I got
do
under
the
my
black,
bench.
when I do the black car, it's getting a belly pan like a Pro Mod.
Oh, yeah.
That transmission will be completely exposed.
Oh, even better.
I'll use the mid plate will be, totally sealed to the front. There'll be a belly pan underneath all the way from the front cross member to the four-link cross member. And you'll see the titanium bell housing that I have. You'll see
Wow.
the transmission, and then there'll be a titanium drive shaft tunnel behind that. So it'll be completely exposed, the whole
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna fly it,
something. That's something you want to show.
Is that the one you crashed, Lewis?
Yeah, I was gonna fly it in the house, but my wife's on.
They opened up a park for that stuff here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's the first one in Florida, and
drone.
they've got drone park, and they've got all of these obstacles that the guys fly through and over and
Did you ever
around.
see that on TV?
Yeah, them
I'm
racing
amazed
ones.
that they fly
Yeah.
like 100 miles an hour.
I know. I think it was on
Crazy.
ESPN, one of the cable networks. They were doing this drone competition. It's in like a warehouse,
Yeah,
pitch
fly
black.
through
So the guys got to
tubes.
wear glasses, and they got to go through the obstacles and all that. It's crazy.
I was very surprised because all of the guys that they were showing were wearing it almost looked like virtual reality.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
it's a whole. It completely blacks out everything, and
Yeah.
they're just looking through the camera on the drone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then what they did was
Right.
they put a news camera up to it, and it's like the ultimate, amusement park ride. You're in
Yeah.
that thing, and and you're using your thumbs to move around, on the servos, but it's like you're actually sitting in that drone, flying along at 100 miles an hour, up and down and all around. And I was like, that's a cool hobby.
And
Yeah,
none
but I
of
think if you're flying at 100 miles an hour, at some point, how long's the distance where it can travel? Because 100 miles an hour for like 5 seconds, you got to be
Well,
out of range.
Think about it. It's almost like drag racing. They talk about
Yeah.
guys going 330 miles an hour, but
But
you're
you're only
going
going
330 miles an hour through a 66-foot speed trap.
1,000 feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so.
no, and the thing is, you probably don't find a pilot that's over 19 years old.
Yeah.
No, there was a
They-
couple of older guys. There was a couple of older guys there.
Those are the guys in the back putting.
It's a whole club. I was like, wow, that was actually really cool. It was on yesterday's local news. I thought it was
It's probably
pretty
one of
good.
those guys. The old guys are the guys flying the little RC planes.
Yeah.
And some of those
I gotta-
RC planes are ridiculous. They got jets. I'm like, look at this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a like a private airport about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from me, and they have shows all the time, like 4 or 5 times a year. They do these RC shows, and these guys show up with some of the most amazing model planes. And there's a guy that has an SR-71 Blackbird.
Oh, the Blackbird. Yeah. Beautiful.
It's like 8 or 10 feet long.
It would have to
Yeah,
be.
it's
And
like
Yeah.
the
1/8
the
scale.
wingspan is huge. Yeah, it's amazing. And
Beautiful.
it's jet engine.
Yeah.
He turns
like
that
looking
thing
at the
on.
passenger
You
section.
hear when they start it up, you hear it start to spin, and you hear the igniter going tick, 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 and then all of a sudden, and then it starts to pick up, and the turbine starts moving. Unbelievable. And it actually has an afterburner. When he takes off, he flips a switch, and the thing blows fire. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And when it's up in the air flying around, you lose that perspective. It
Mhm.
looks like the real thing.
No. Because they even got
Amazing.
like a passenger jet, like a DC-47, whatever they are. And those things are, these things are huge. A little
Yeah.
kid could probably ride on those things.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm just impressed with that. I'm used to hearing like little Cox airplanes with the string.
Right? Remember those things? I had a whole bunch of that stuff.
Little tester airplanes,
On the other
I
end,
had- I had those Cox cars.
every year,
I still have mine.
every week when I go over to the radio station, I pass by Eisenhower Park, and at the lake, there's the club out there that has the RC boats.
Yeah.
And some of those things, I actually paced one on my motorcycle once coming up Merrick Avenue. Those freaking things, 60, 65 miles an hour, these things were going.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
those are
Easy.
incredible too.
Yeah.
I had
pretty wild.
I had that Cox. I forget what they call it. It was yellow. It looked like a Bonneville salt flat car. Had a propeller. It was
I remember that. I always wanted that damn car.
It was a Cox 049 engine. Had an aircraft propeller, but the body was like a land speed record car. It had it was yellow with a canopy, kind of like a F-16 sort of canopy. It had these
Real fluffy
canards
design.
over the wheels. Yeah, it was like a land speed car, and it had a prop drive, and they had this tether that you would hook up to it, and we used to just put a big nail in the middle of the street, and then
Mhm.
hook up the line to it.
Had to put a knot in the line.
Yeah, and fire it up, and the thing would either just go around, or I'd flip the rope with the string over itself. So as it started going around, the line kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter. It would go faster and faster and faster and faster. And then sometimes we'd fire the thing up backwards, because you could run those motors backwards and just let it go down the street, and it would take off. And then, like, out of nowhere, it would hook a turn left or right, and it would smash the curb. Me and my friends were so destructive. And then I had I had a purple dune buggy. that also had that 049 motor in it. And it had these like big spongy kind of air-filled tires, kind of like what a monster truck tire looks like, but tiny. And that thing, you just let that thing go, and it would go, you know, up and down the curb and up on the lawn around my father's flower beds and stuff.
I had the dragster, the Vega dragster that opened up like a dragster. That thing was incredible. I'm doing.
Yeah.
I gotta find that thing, and it was just a straight line, and you had to put like a little knot in the line, like when it came close to the end, because what happened is there's like a little lever, and the rope, the string ran through it, the tether line ran through it, and then when it hit a knot, it would move it back and shut off that 049 engine that you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had the dragster. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real
I
cool.
had the dragster, you know.
We used to
All
go
right,
to
fellas, I gotta jump
Larry's
ship.
hobby shop.
Yeah.
All right,
I gotta
Louis.
jump ship.
All right,
Whoa,
see you.
What time is it? I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
We all go to work tomorrow, Terry. Come on
Well,
now.
I'll tell you, Louis, Justin has become our new late night hanger-oner. So
Oh yeah,
we
Okay.
got
Hanging in there.
we're
We got-
breaking them in.
play.
We're breaking
Late
them
night
in.
with Justin.
Late
All
All
night
right,
with
there we
Justin.
go.
All right, fellas.
gentlemen,
I'll see you next
have
week.
a good night.
All right, Louis.
Yeah. See you,
All
man.
right. I'll try and come on live from Vegas. I don't know though. We'll see what happens.
Heck yeah. That'd be cool.
I'm gonna hook up John with you. I'm gonna let him. I'll give him your info.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Got the newest Rat Fink 57 Chevy.
Ooh, look at that.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
This is Matco Tools.
Yeah.
I like Ratfink stuff.
Yep.
That's cool. Black and white. A Bel Air, huh?
Yep. 57 Chevy there. So that's the newest one. We're supposed to get a that Volkswagen bus that Terry was talking about. You know, the one that's like I don't think the front, but it's the van that was cut into a truck.
Yeah.
That one actually I think that one came out in our I think that one's in our newest flyer, and I haven't gotten it yet. I don't know how much longer.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think I saw it in the flyer.
So I learned something this week.
VW Microbus.
Clay Kuhn was on. I was on the phone with him the other night. He was that guy can talk, man. But when he did his, I don't know if you saw this week's video with McNamara. Actually, it was actually with McNamara Michael's wife, not Michael. But she was showing him some of the new stuff and, this, that, and the other thing. And she showed him this year's winter coat. And he said, "What the hell is that?" Because the Mako logos were all just in white on the charcoal colored coat. And he says, "No, last year's coat is so much nicer because the logos are in color like they should be." He goes, "What is it with Matco in color?" Like they don't like color.
They're actually reflective.
So, okay.
Oh,
He
that's
didn't
a
say.
different
So
story.
he showed the last year's coat later on, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the one I want." I'm like, "So is there old stock of last year's coats laying around?" Because
Sure.
that's cool.
Yeah. Last year's, was that colored or that was the year before?
Well, he said it was last year, which was colored. I don't know. He usually knows what he's.
But the new jackets, I just got some in. I haven't gotten them all in. I just got the new ones in. But the logo on the back, it's reflective.
That's cool. That is good.
That's cool.
And I like that. But I'll tell you, I got my brother-in-law when he moved to Florida. He worked at the airport here, so he gave me all his swag from the airport. I've had airport coats for years because my father-in-law worked there and my brother-in-law worked there. So I've had the jumpsuits and the work shirts and the work. I got the work clothes that say mechanic. So, but he gave me more stuff when he left, like cold weather gear, and one of them is like that lime green and black, the high impact Viz. So that's my new snowblowing coat. So that thing is reflective all over the place. So I'm good with that. But I agree. I like the color. I think the colors, they look so good together. Get red, white, and blue. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
True
year's coat
American.
was, I guess it's. I'm starting to learn how to decipher because it was PD was the suffix, but it's WJ, which I guess is winter jacket.
Work jacket.
okay, 21, which is the year.
Year, right?
21, and then the size.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Probably cracking the Matco code.
And remember, not everything, but if it's orange, it has an M after it, not an O, because O could be a 0, and we can't have that kind of confusion. So
Right. Gotcha.
So I thought, the work jackets. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was last year or the year before, because we had the brown, and then we had black.
Is that an insulated jacket?
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you gotta do is tell me your size, Roy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wear like a large, but I never know the way stuff is cut. You never know.
Yeah, I know. That's the only.
I mean, you've said that 100 times. It's like,
these are actually I had gotten the 5X had came, and it's actually a little big on me. But I will admit,
I could get in that with John.
Yeah, but I will admit, I have lost a little bit. So
5X is like Mack truck.
Well, when you're a big guy,
you
got to cover it up.
Got to be comfortable.
Yeah, true.
I'm 3 losing.
Yeah.
3 and losing.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. But my wife's like, she found some old pictures that I was going through, and she's like, "That's you?" We're like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Really?
From how long ago?
From 70s, right after high school."
Oh, knee socks, satin
I
shorts.
I was a medium shirt. I was 32 waist.
Yeah.
I weighed 145 pounds.
Yeah, that was my size.
She was like, "Holy shit!" She goes, "You'll never get back to that size." And I'm like, "I hope, no, I doubt it.
No, not unless you're deathly ill.
Unless I'm ill, right?"
Yeah.
But I have some friends from high school that, that I've seen and spoken to, and they gained since high school in '76. They gained like 8 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm like, really?
I held that line for a long, long time.
Yeah,
and then
me too.
It started finally creeping up on me.
I'll tell you when I held it to. I held it till the Gulf War.
Yeah, I was still good around then.
When Schwarzkopf was in there, that's when I noticed that my 32s started to get tight, and I had to move up to a 33.
I didn't go to 33s and 34s until well into the 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're in 36s.
Yep, I started chubbing up. When was the Gulf War?
That was 94. No.
Yeah. So.
No, wait.
36. I don't know. Jeez. 36.
What?
36. I didn't wear 36. I guess I was
when you were born
12 years old.
Yeah, 12
oh
years
my
old.
God. Yeah. I was a 32. I remember it vividly. That right around the same time as the Gulf War, I started putting on some pounds.
I tell you there's a guy in Englishtown. He's by the fence, and he sells uniform pants and jackets. So that's where I get all my work pants, because they're really good. Red cap, denim red cap pants, and all the gray cotton work pants, but they're the nice thick cotton work pants, not the thin ones. The shirts and the jackets, he sells those like in bulk to some guy from Florida, because the guy takes them, cuts the sleeves off, and they got patches on them, so he repurposes them and sells them to all the wannabes.
He sells them to all the rednecks.
Yeah,
they all walk around here with shirts with the sleeves cut off. And
I did actually get a couple shirts from him a couple of years ago. And he says, "Yeah, it's rare." He goes, "Usually these things are gone, but I buy the pants." And he sells them in a bundle of 5, and it's just like twine that he ties them with, and it's like $20 for a bundle of 5. So yeah, give me that. So I took a batch of 34s one year. Then I got home like, oh damn, they didn't fit. That was the year I had to go to a 36, and it was traumatic. I was like, this can't be. So I actually went back to that next year. I took them, I tied them back up with the twine, and I didn't see him. He had his daughter working with him. So I grabbed her. I said, "Listen, you got to help me out." I said, "I buy pants here every year." I said, I got a problem. I held up the pack, and she could see they were hers because the way they were tied and all. And I said, I got a traumatic issue going on here. And she's like, well, what happened? I said, I bought these last season. It was the fall show. Now we're in the spring. I said, and I gained weight. I'm a waist size bigger. I said, so I want to exchange these for like the next size up. I said, it's really screwing with my head. And she did it, no problem. So we walked away, and my friends had tried that with the guy, and he's like, no trade-in for you. You know, it was like,
Nazi.
like, how did you do that? I was like, I talked to his daughter. I talked to the girl. I said, and I appealed to her sense of vanity. I told her I was traumatic because I went up a weight size. And, you know, any woman in the world's going to say, oh, my God, yeah, it's terrible. I said, but she did it. She did a new one.
Yeah,
So.
I was a little traumatic in it because I had a whole boatload of like really comfortable, you know, jeans, Levi's, a couple of Lees.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that bothered me is all of my like Sergio Valentes and all that disco crap because they used to go to these clubs every night. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't wear these.
So let me ask you this: How
you know
long?
what? You think I would have been smart enough back then when I had a metabolism and everything to like starve myself for a couple of weeks and right back?
Right.
But I didn't because the provolone was good and the crackers and
the
cheese.
And,
and going to Tiffany's Wine and Cheese Cafe.
Oh, Tiffany's, yeah.
I was dating a model at the time, and she wanted to go
it's
out.
Because again, John, this you should know by now. It just comes down to this.
There you go.
Yeah.
You had the cash, and life was good.
Oh yeah,
So let me ask you.
It was great. I had the black Trans Am, and it was running like a rape tape, and I was kicking butt. She was a super hot model who I had dated her when she had got out of high school.
Is that the one you sent me the pictures of it at the track that some guy was like taking
blonde
pictures of
Michelle?
Yeah.
Right. And then I dated her again years later when I happened to be at a friend of mine. He owned a tire place across the street from her father's storefront.
Oh.
And she was out there in these like Daisy Dukes with her long blonde hair, and she had just purchased a jacked up CJ7. Black, and all the accessories on it were hot pink, like it had Rancho shocks with the hot pink boots,
right,
and the whole deal. And when I was going out with her, she originally had like light brown hair, it was her natural color, but now she was like, you know, Playboy Playmate blonde.
Yeah.
And I'm standing across the street with my buddy Rodney, and I'm like, he goes, "That's your ex-girlfriend Michelle," and I'm like, whoa, what happened to her? He goes, she got hotter. You should have never dumped her. I went over there, and she was like, hey, how you been? Hey. She had gotten married. She was married for like 5 years, and then she got divorced.
Oh, wow.
And she bought this Jeep, and she's like, what are you doing later? And I'm like, nothing.
Nothing.
She's like, can you teach me how to do the 4-wheel drive on this thing? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. One thing led to another. I started going out with her again.
So let me ask you this. How long after you had to make the size change for the pants, how long did you keep the old ones?
Well, I don't know. Maybe a year or two.
Oh, you better. Just like my car parts, I still got pants that were like brand new, perfect 32s sitting in a chest in the bedroom at the foot of the bed. Like, I just can't bring myself to get rid of them.
Oh, trust me. I have T-shirts, race car T-shirts still to this day that I bought like at Englishtown that are mediums.
Yep.
The only thing I could do with them is maybe frame them and hang them on the wall.
You know what I started doing with them? I started giving them to my daughter because she's like
when I was extra large, then 2X, and I got a shit ton of 3X stuff. I have pants that go from the size that I wear now. They go down like 4 sizes in case I ever decide to like really get serious about losing weight, or maybe even go get my stomach stapled or something like that. You know, because I try these diets and they work for a little while, and then I hit a wall.
That's common.
I know it's very common, but I just can't seem to get through it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my head says, yeah, I want to lose the weight.
Well, you lose
But
the
then-
water weight first. That's the easy.
Well, yeah, but then I actually lose diet weight.
You know what you got to do? I tell you.
Then I get to that point where I can't get any further, and I just get disgusted, and it's like, oh, I'm going to Carvel.
I know guys who've done this, who are doing it now. Big guys who did it. You got to only eat 8 hours of the day, and the other 16 you don't. So you could pick any 8, and you can't pick like an hour here, hour. It's got to be like 8 in that 8-hour window is when you eat, and before and after that, you don't touch a thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
means
honestly, I
snacking.
try never to eat after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, well, yeah, it works because there was a guy, my friend at the shop, his buddy, real big guy, works sanitation. I saw him like hadn't seen him in like 8 months, and now I saw him and he was like thin. And the guy's he's a big guy already, so now his chest looked even bigger, and everything just looked bigger about him because now he was contoured a little bit.
Right.
And he said, "Yeah, I'm doing that 8-hour diet." He goes, "And I'm drinking shakes, and I'm doing this and doing that." And this guy would go, there's a burrito place by us. They get these burritos that look like a freaking baby's arm. I mean, they're gigantic. These guys will eat these burritos. Then they'll go and get ice cream, and they're getting cookies, and then they're getting muffins. They would gavone like you can't believe.
Yeah.
He stopped all of that.
See, I don't
was
do
like-
that. I eat a lot of salads. I try and eat kind of regular stuff, but I'm a horrible eater. Number one, that's a big problem. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I try, but I guess my head just really isn't 100%, convinced.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
ridiculous.
like I said, now with those shirts, my greatest joy is I started giving those smaller shirts I have to my daughter, and she wears them. So I'm like, hey, there's my shovelhead shirt. Hey, there's my Super Chevy shirt. Like I'm seeing them walking
Yeah.
around the house now. I'm like, okay, good. At least they're getting a new life.
When I get this stuff out of here and both of them are gone and all of this equipment is at the other shop, then I will probably call in somebody to redo the floor that's in here with that really, really nice epoxy.
Yeah.
I mean, I did this when we moved in here in 2006, and there's spots here that are absolutely perfect. This floor has not given me a minute's worth of grief at all, and it was the stuff from that company Quickcrete,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I just pressure washed the floor. I acid washed the floor. I rinsed it really good. I let it dry for 2 days, and then I went and bought a couple of those kits from Lowe's, and at the time it was from the company that makes the cement, Quickcrete.
Right.
And you lay down the base coat and you sprinkle the sprinkles in it as you're going, and then after it dries, the next day you come back and you put the clear on it, and it's clear that goes on. It goes on white, and as it dries, it turns clear.
Yeah.
And it's been phenomenal. I mean, I've jacked up cars, I've dropped stuff, and it's really, really held up very, very well. So
Uh-huh.
for the amount of money I spent on it, it was not expensive at all. One of my customers just had he's trying to, it's a mansion. He's trying to sell it. I don't know if he's gonna, he just had the garage redone because when they built the house, they painted the garage floor with just like gray enamel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it over the years it peeled,
It peels
It
and
leaves-
flakes. Yeah.
tire marks. It was a disaster. So he called one of those companies that comes in and does the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's like white and gray with a little bit of blue in the flake.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I mean,
You know-
it's unbelievable. And they told him that he had to stay off of it for a week.
I'll tell you,
Really fully cure.
if you do hook up with my buddy Chris at SEMA, have him show you pictures of his floor. He lives in Oakdale. It looks like a freaking bowling ball. It's like blue and black with a swirl. I'm like,
Oh,
holy, it
those-
looks like a
I've s-
freaking bowling ball.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
The guys that did the TV show Garage Rehab,
Yeah, yeah.
the company would come in and do that, and they would pour like a base color,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'd go in with something else, and they would like use sticks and they would swirl stuff,
Right.
or make something that looked like an ocean.
Uh-huh.
You could do all kinds of stuff if you want to spend the huge dollars on that.
Well,
you
he
know?
did.
And then they pour a real heavy clear over the top of it.
Right.
totally lock it in, and it's like it's
My,
unbelievable.
my brother did, and this was he lives up your way there, Ray, but he did his hallway, and it was he did it with the paint, but he did the same thing with drawing. It looks like marble,
Nice.
and cleared it all in and everything. And it was like, like I said, the amount of money that he saved to give that look, that rich, full look or whatever. It's incredible.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, like I have a problem, like I want to do my floor really bad. I mean, I want to do the enamel, the epoxy, but I have too much of a moisture content. And you gotta what you gotta do, because I have a lot of shops that they spend the money and it comes back up and they don't understand. But if you take they tell you to tape a black plastic bag on the floor and come back a couple days later and see how much moisture, because there's always moisture being sucked out from concrete.
Right.
And that's why, like when you get that funny temperature change, you'll get you get that moisture on the floor in the basement or in the garage or whatever. You're just wicking up too much. So I would love to do it, but I know that it's just not going to last. And the amount of money that you spend, you can have a guy come out and they'll shave the floor to get the fret, to get clean concrete, and then they seal it and they can do through. But even that, they still won't guarantee. Even after all that and that expense, they won't guarantee it if you have too much of a moisture content.
Count your
Right.
blessings, because that means you got to move everything.
Think
Listen,
about it. You need like 253-foot trailers.
when I moved in
Hold
this
everything.
house, the basement was finished 60s, 70s style with the bamboo bar, and I got paneling on the walls, and I got
Nice.
the ceiling is a foot by foot. Those squares that are like cardboard with the recessed lights. So I saw a little bit of a watermark on the wall, only a couple inches up, and it was old. It was like a white mark, and I could tell it was old. It wasn't current, and I didn't know why. Well, I've been here since '86. It was 2009. We had a series of storms, series of rains. And we had a lot of underground streams over here where I am. And plus, I'm not far from the ocean, but that's really not a big issue. The basement had water in it. I was fully carpeted down here. I'm like, had to borrow my neighbor's carpet cleaning machine, the commercial machine, to suck the stuff
Suck
out.
the water out, yeah.
Well, now I had to rip all the carpet out. And in the desk I'm at now, still under the legs, I can see the green carpet because I didn't move the furniture. I just cut around everything, ripped it all out. And I'm looking at this disgusting concrete floor. And my wife's like, well, why don't you do something? What happened was it was hydraulic pressure.
Yeah.
Once I got the carpet out, I'm using the carpet machine, and I'm making a swatch on the concrete with the carpet cleaner, which is really heavy duty. It just makes a totally clean path, sucks all the water up, and then you watch it come right back up again. It was hydraulic pressure that was coming from through the concrete.
Wow.
So I finally knocked it down and got rid of it. But my neighbor, she must have water right under her house. She had 2 sump pumps running for like 4 days. I cleaned mine up in a day and it was done. So I said, no, I don't want to do it again. I loved having the carpet down here. It was warmer and it was quieter. But I said, it just kicked my ass. I said, plus now I got to move all this shit, filing cabinets and the desk and fuck that.
Yeah.
I'll live with the concrete.
I was amazed that, and I know because you learn this when you get to Florida, that Florida has a very high water table. It's basically all of Florida is swampland. Yeah. And when we just had the pool redone, so you've got the bottom drain.
Yeah.
And on these bottom drains, there's actually 2 threaded setups in it. One of them is the one that's going to run to your filter. So you can open up the bottom drain as additional filtration, or if you needed to empty the pool, you could actually just send your filter out to waste, hook up that flexible line, run it out to the street, turn on the bottom drain, and you could just literally empty the pool.
Yeah.
So then there's another threaded boss in that bottom drain that goes straight down. And when they pulled that plug,
The water came up.
water came. Well, first you could look down in there, and there was actually like some garbage
Yeah.
that you saw below the concrete, of the pool. But then a couple of hours after they had left, these guys came and they chipped away all of the where the fittings were in the pool wall so they could put new fittings on. It's all part of doing that refinishing job. And about 2 or 3 hours after they left, I walked over to take a look at what they had done, and there was water welling up in the bottom of the pool.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, whoa. So I called the guy that's doing the job, and he's like, oh, okay, no problem. He goes, I'll be there in about a half an hour. So he PC pipe into that and went up and then went to a flex line,
Yeah.
and they turned on a pump, an actual pool pump,
Mm-hmm.
and they primed it, and they left
Yeah.
that thing running
Uh-huh.
for like 3 freaking days.
Wow.
And it would shoot water out,
Yeah.
and then it would stop. And because the way the pool pumps are, they've got that basket, so
Yeah.
the impeller is always wet.
Mhm.
It's trying to pull a head of water up, and then it would fill, and then it would start pumping water again. And the whole time the thing was here, it was pumping water, pumping water, pumping water. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
I'll tell you a funny story. My brother-in-law turned me on to this many years ago. But when I put a liner in my pool, it's above ground pool, I put a center drain in.
Yeah.
And I told, and only because the guy did in grounds, he knew what I wanted. And I said, yeah. And subsequently, guys past that, they'd come and do a liner, and another couple of years, like, where'd you get this drain? How'd you get? I'm like, it's just a center drain from from an in-ground pool. What do you got this in here for? I said, well, if I happen to go away and my water level drops in the skimmer basket, I'm never going to fry my pump because it's pulling it. I used a valve, and I would go half and half. I said, I'm
Sure.
pulling it from that bottom drain, so I'll never lose a pump. I said, plus with that drain, it actually makes so much suction. They say people get stuck to them sometimes. I never had that happen.
Well, they've changed the rules, the laws over the years, and
Yeah.
they actually changed my top, my cover top,
Uh-huh.
which I've stood on it before when it was wide open and you couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
But they've changed it again
Yeah.
recently in the last 5 or 6 years. And the cover that's on there now has even more openings than
Okay.
the one they took off. And it's like an anti-siphon cover, so you can't get stuck to it.
Well, the beauty with this is I have a round pool, and if there's like leaves and debris that fall in the pool, it tends to circle right into the middle of the pool, right over that
Yeah.
drain. And you just
Yep.
go in there with the net, and you don't have to chase it around the pool. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
We
And,
finally
my,
took it
my
out.
sister worked for Island Recreational for years before she became a cop.
Uh-huh.
Before she went to the academy, and the pool that they put in my mom's backyard, it's I think it's like a 30-foot round. It's a big round pool,
Yeah.
ridiculous. And they did that deal where you go with an extra deep cover.
Uh-huh.
So they put the pool wall up, but
Right.
then they actually dig down
Right.
to make the pool deeper than 4 feet deep,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then it's got a bottom drain.
Yeah. Mine is 52 inches now, the new pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and I finally did do away with that drain because they said like at the end of the year, you're supposed to go in there and pull the cover off, plug it, blow out the line. And, I'm going down there, I'm just diving down there. And, I couldn't stay at the bottom, because I'm floating up to the, I would wear a wetsuit because I'm usually doing it in like September or, October. So
Yeah.
it's cold. So I bought a wetsuit.
You got to take a deep breath and exhale real hard, and you will sink like a rock.
Yeah. But then you got to be able to work.
Come on. It's 52 inches deep.
Well, at the time, I was only about 160 pounds. So I was like, I didn't have enough of me. So my feet are out of the water. I'm floating. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. You got to take a couple of really, really deep breaths and do the biggest exhale in your life, and you will
Hyperventilate.
sink.
Yeah, hyperventilate
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you die in the water.
No, you won't die.
I would always do it, and I was always doing this like during the day when nobody was home. I mean, I've almost killed myself a few times when nobody was home. They wouldn't have found me for like hours, and I said, you know what, I got to be smarter about this.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how my sister does it.
But I stopped doing that. I never did. I used to plug it off. I stopped plugging it. I just had the line coming up from the ground. I kind of got as much water out as I could. I'd pour pool antifreeze into it and just plug it. The bottom line is I realized one year we had a really nasty winter, and I had a couple inches of solid ice on the top of the pool under the cover. But the bottom of the pool, you could hit the side and still feel it doesn't freeze all the way down.
Oh, no
There's
way.
too much water. So that water under there is never freezing because it's actually under the, so I just stopped doing it and I never had a problem. I never lost the line, never froze anything.
My sister goes in there and she plugs it.
Yeah, I stopped.
And yeah, she's got something. I don't know how the hell she does it. She plugs it and then she's got a way of blowing the water out.
Yeah,
and then she
gotta have-
seals it on the outside also.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
I
pain
stopped
in the
doing
neck.
it. I stopped doing
That's-
that.
See, Florida here, you don't do that. They run all
Right.
year long.
Yeah. Well,
Not a
like I said,
problem.
I stopped doing it and had no adverse effects, so
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah, her pool's already locked up for the winter, and I like laugh. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta winterize my pool. And she's like, what is that?
Yeah.
I go, I go to the timer, that Intermatic timer for the pump and the filter. And instead of making it run 10 hours a day, I make it run 7.
That's my favorite part. My wife hates it when I close the pool because you look out the kitchen window, you see the pool and we got the ducks
The
floating. in it.
cover with the pillow. You got
Yeah.
the cover with the pillow.
Well, we hate doing it. But the thing that I love, the thing that I'm always celebrating is, yes, now I can shut the freaking electricity off. This freaking pump won't run 10 hours a day,
Yeah,
So,
I know.
Justin, I don't hear your audio.
I got a 2 horsepower pump on mine.
Oh, there you go. Now we hear
All right.
you.
There you
Okay.
go. You're
Perfect.
working.
Yeah, I had to switch my stupid phone here. It does not have any battery.
Oh, okay.
You're
I'm like
kind of
constantly-
like crackly breaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to figure out a good audio situation.
Yeah.
I know without the headphones, it's like you guys get a weird echo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And mine,
Well-
I don't know. This laptop is it's got a horrible camera built into it, so I have a different camera on top of it, and the microphone that's in it is for shit. So the easiest thing for me to do was to buy these headphones with a microphone.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the neck though because I can't get up and walk around. I got to take them off.
Right.
But
If you guys can hear me, that
yeah,
Well,
boy, that microphone's horrible.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, Justin.
all right.
That's kind of you were good. You were good before,
Yeah.
but you were using the phone, I guess. So yeah, yeah. What kind of microphone are you using now? Is it part of the camera?
It's just headphones.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like like it's a bad connection.
Yeah.
Like the jack is dirty or something.
And I get that with the headphones. I have these really nice Sennheisers.
Yeah.
That I use, and like you go to buy headphones now, they've all got that mini plug on.
Yeah, 3.5 the 3.5 millimeter.
Yeah, and unfortunately, my home theater system that I use has a regular, 1/4 inch.
1/4 inch.
Yeah,
You can step it up.
Ring tip sleeve.
Yeah.
So I got to buy the stupid adapter one,
Right.
and for every one that I buy, there's always a little problem. You plug that into the stereo system, you're using your 1/4 inch, and then when you go to the 1/8 inch one, they never really make great contact.
Right.
And sometimes I have to actually put them on and get everything going, and then I got to rotate
Yep.
the smaller one in the
Yep.
bigger one
Yep.
until I find its little happy place.
Yep.
And I'm like, don't they make fucking headphones with a 1/4 inch ring tip sleeve jack on them anymore? 'Cause
No.
that's the way it used to be.
No, they don't. Maybe
Yeah.
if you go like hardcore music, yeah, I don't know. I
You
would
tell
actually.
me all these guys in studios that are running these, big 32 channel digital boards, they're all running 8-inch plugs.
Mm.
I'm like,
They
that's
make
weird.
USB. They do make USB headphones.
This is USB that I'm using now.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't have a USB on my home
Right.
theater.
Right. See, I would probably just make myself a conversion box that would be a 1/4-inch male jack on one end, and just wire it to the 3.5 millimeter on the other side. Just
Right.
hardwire it, solder it,
Build it with a good jack. Yeah.
make a little aluminum box.
Radio Shack ain't around anymore.
That's what I would do. Because I got a bunch of adapters here.
I hate
what
those
it was.
things.
I know. We used to have to use them in the studio when they switched over. We always had to use the adapters, and it was sucky.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out something.
Now you sound okay.
I was rotating that thing. Maybe that worked.
That's it. It's just a connection. Yeah. Yeah.
Unreal.
Very true.
You notice how Windows is trying to shove you into Windows 11 now?
Ah, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, my laptop's not good enough, it says. Something about the memory.
Now, 11, really the big thing with 11, from what I've seen, is all video and,
I think that's the reason.
movies and stuff. That's really all it is. It's not computing. It's
No.
all for like, the.
I'm still trying to fumble my way around this Windows 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with 10. From 7 to 10, I had really not a big problem with. They just move stuff. They put it's like someone came into your,
on
it's
the
like someone
start
came into
screen,
your
all these
house.
tiles,
I know.
It's all these tiles. Everything is an app now. And I'm like,
It's like someone came in your house and changed furniture around and moved the stuff in the drawers and put your glasses where your cups were and the dishes where the pots were. And you just got to find out when. So that's what drives me nuts about it, finding stuff. But
yeah, it's not. I don't know. I just can't get used to it 100%. It's a pain in the neck. And then, and you jack it back and forth between Windows and Apple.
okay, yeah.
So there's that difference. I didn't have much trouble with Apple. I was able to figure that out, on the phone.
And that's what
quickly.
Windows is based on. Windows really took the Apple model, the Mac model, and that was the whole icon thing.
So I don't know.
I mean, I learned DOS back in the day.
Me too.
C://
COBOL.
/. Yeah,
I did COBOL. I did DOS. All of that.
copy, copy A star dot star. The whole, that I learned.
Yeah.
And I mean, it still runs on that. That's still the backbone of it. But then,
It is.
Mac came out with that, the trash can that you could see, and you put things in the trash bin. It was so like kid friendly, user friendly.
Yeah.
And that's what Windows copied. It's the same thing, but it's still running on a DOS backbone. Does the same thing. It's got to give it a command,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Windows is, no matter what they do, Windows will always be fat and lazy.
Yeah.
There's just way too much code going on to get
There's a
anything
lot,
done.
a ton of stuff. Ton of stuff.
But through the years, I was able to, I'm a tinkerer. I like to figure out what was going on. So I got real good with Windows 95
Oh yeah.
and 7 and XP.
Yep.
And
I like that.
I'm in the registry all the time.
Yeah.
Because you delete a program, you put something on, you get something, or you'll get a disk and you'll load something, and then you say, I don't want this, and you back it out,
Right.
and it only gets rid of a couple of things.
That's right.
When you go into registry and start scanning the registry,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a line, here's
Yeah.
a line, there's a line, and so you find that if you put a program on there, it'll get rid of, like, I don't know, maybe 25% of the program, and the rest of it is just sitting in your registry, sitting on your hard drive.
And these programs, they are huge.
Yeah. So it's terrible the way Windows does not know how to actually delete anything properly.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't know about Apple
I don't
because
know.
I'm not a Mac user. I don't know how bad their operating system is when it comes time to get rid of something.
Yeah.
It may be the same. I just don't know. But I learned how to work a Windows registry really, really well in terms of not screwing things up. You know, with that
Right.
last zero
Yeah. Right.
on,
Right.
on the string,
Right.
whether it's a dash or a zero, makes
Yeah.
a difference between the blue screen of death
Yeah. Very true.
or nothing working.
Very true.
So
Yeah.
that's always the way to be. And like Barb, she's not good with any of that stuff, you know, and she makes a lot of user mistakes.
Yeah.
She double clicks links all the time.
Oh wow.
And she's brilliantly smart, but you know how some people are like really brilliant, but they just can't get stuff.
Yes.
So she does not to this day understand when you go to save something to drill down and find a folder or create a folder.
Put it where you want it.
Put it someplace. No, she saves everything to the desktop.
Yikes.
Yeah, which is where it shouldn't be.
You know,
Should
it was
be just
funny.
shortcuts. She literally saves complete programs to the
Oh no.
Yeah. So she'll curse the computer. This fucking piece of shit's not working. What the fuck? And I'm like, it's user.
Yeah.
She's like, don't even go there. You know, hot crazy Sicilian.
Yeah.
No. Fix it then. You go fix it. I'm like, fine,
Right.
I will.
Yeah.
You know, and then there'll be times where she'll tell me, oh, you know, I got a thing that it says it has to do an update. I was like, okay. She goes, can you take care of that? Yeah, I'll take care of it. And I move the mouse around and the thing lights up and I look in the tray. She'll have Internet Explorer open like 5 times. Right? And then you click one of them and there's like 6 tabs.
Oh geez.
You know what I'm saying? And then some Word programs and a couple of PDFs and
throw in Excel.
like,
yeah.
And you wonder why this computer can't run. It's choking.
You know, I remember back in the DOS days being able to configure where something's saved. So you could use like the A drive for your floppy as a default. Like it had, we did that at the school. Like we forced people to save to the disk, not to the hard drive. There's probably still a way to do it. But my wife too, every computer I got her, laptop after laptop after laptop, killed every one of them. Just killed every one of them. Then I got her a tablet. I said, here, it's this freaking standalone. It's a tablet. It's an Android-based tablet. This thing is going to be great because you really can't save anything to it, so you can't fuck that up. It's like, yeah, that's gone too. So
it was. I'm sorry. Go on, Ray.
The only one when I finally got her a smartphone. Now she uses her phone for everything, and that's the only platform so far that's worked for her that she hasn't killed. But
well, she does the same thing with the phone.
Yeah,
she'll start screaming. What's wrong with this phone? It's a piece of shit. She's got a brand. Well, what did they got? 13 just came out.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
She's got the one before that.
The 12.
Okay, 12, and she bought it when it came out.
Wow.
And then she'll start cursing at me that this phone's a piece of shit. Apple, I'll never buy another Apple. Da da da. Let me look at your phone. And she'll lock because that thing's facial recognition to even turn it on.
Yeah.
You know, she gets it on, and I start swiping, and she's got like 11 effing screens. She's got like 11 apps running simultaneously.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm like, you need to shut stuff.
Yeah.
My mom did that.
About? Why? Why do I got to do that?
So look, it's like when you leave the room, close the door. You know, like end it.
Well,
yeah,
no,
shut off the light.
That don't happen either because I'm the one that shuts off the lights.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
I'm my father.
Yeah. All the time. That's my job.
I'm my father, but I don't have any kids to yell at.
And I gotta shut the cable box off because he never shuts the TV off and never the cable box. Like,
oh, you see,
right.
our cable box, if it's on the same channel for like 5 or 6 hours,
turns off.
It shuts itself off.
Mine might too, but I don't let it go that far. You know, I don't know.
So it's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a television show living here.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you're not that alone. You're really not. You know, you're really not.
Yeah. And then I constantly,
Conversation
you
proved
know, I constantly get the berating of how she has more degrees than I'll ever have, and I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I can build a race car.
Yeah.
You can't.
All right. Hey, we all got our talents. That's right. And like you said, hey, listen, I was just telling the guy this the other day. I said, I've worked in the engineering field pretty much all my life, my adult life. And even as a technician, the guy on the bench, I've worked with engineers and had to, you know, do things. And, you know, they would design the thing and I'd have to build it and troubleshoot it. But these guys could, you know, had the brain power, you know, they didn't need a computer. But you give them a screwdriver, they'll put it through their hand, you know. And so that was always my strong point. I had enough training and engineering background where I could do design and I understood the theory and all. And I had hands that work. You know, I can use my. That's how I got a job in metallurgy because the boss guy had one eye and he says, "Listen, I need somebody who's got hands who can. You know, I know you go with your hands." I'm like, "Yeah, you want to work for me? Sure." So I switched over to working with him and you know, I did all that fine work and all the polishing and all the setting and all, you know, and he was like, wow, this is what you need in this field. He was like, PhD. The guy was a PhD, I think, twice. But
wow.
He'd kill himself if he had to use a tool, you know? So I'm like, all right. Not a problem.
That's unreal.
Yeah. But that's very common. It's very, very common.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what kills me now, like with those arthritis in my thumb. I don't really care. You know, it hurts. I power through it. But sometimes I just want to like turn pages and the thumb hurts so bad I almost can't leaf through it.
Oh, you got it bad. See, I don't have that.
And it pisses me off and I keep doing it. I don't let it stop me. I keep doing it even with the pain. I'm like, you motherfucker, you're not going to get the best of me. You know, it'll kill me. But I feel like I'm severely handicapped because I can't turn a page with my thumb.
Wow. Does it affect you drumming too?
No, not really. You know, I use a traditional grip, so the thumb is really kind of just out in the back.
Yeah.
And even when I'm working, like I'll work at the shop, and it never bothers me when I'm doing stuff. It's when I stop and sit, and then it comes on. And some days I'll wake up with it, some days I won't. So. But like I said, like if I had to pick up little nuts or thread a small nut with these two fingers, you know, luckily I'm right-handed, but sometimes you use your left hand. You got to.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, it's just like, it's like any other infirm thing you could have, like with your knee or whatever, where you go to do a common motion and you just get stopped by frozen pain. And it's just like,
wow.
No, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. See, I don't have that. I do get that. I get that pain right in here.
That's what I got, right in that joint. Right
in there, but it doesn't affect me doing anything. It's just there's just times where it just like kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? I don't take anything for it or anything. It's just
I don't either.
It comes and goes.
But it doesn't
even if it hurts me while I'm working on the car or doing the other stuff, it never affects me to stop me from doing something.
Right.
It's not at that level.
Yeah, I don't let it stop me either, even though it hurts. But like I said, I got a high threshold for pain, so and part of it I'm a little stunad too, so I'm stupid enough where I'll almost do something to make it hurt. Like, go on, try and stop me. Like, what are these fucking stupid?
That's when you said the threshold of pain. I just tell them, yeah, I'm married with children, so
yeah, right.
I mean, you can only take.
How bad could it be?
Yeah. How bad can it be?
How bad could it be? Exactly.
Hey, are you getting these pain in the ass phone calls? Because this is the time of year.
Election season, yeah.
No, for like Medicare Part B, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because it's open enrollment. Yeah, it's open enrollment.
Yeah, open enrollment, right. I keep getting phone calls where they keep asking for Kevin.
For Kevin?
Kevin, yeah.
Oh.
Hi, is this Kevin? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, well, let me tell you about da, 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 da.
Well, I said no.
And then
So-
every once in a while, I get a phone
Stop.
call, and they ask for Kevin, and they're like, "Is this Kevin?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, he had COVID, he went into a coma, and he died in 72 hours."
And we
they're
buried him in the backyard.
"Oh, I feel so sorry," And then I get again, they'll call, and I'll be like, "You should have called a couple of weeks ago. He got hit by a Mack truck crossing the street."
And then lightning hit him.
I called my daughter because that's what she does. She runs like she's an upper management and runs a crew under her. And I'm like, does your company give these people a script? Well, they have an outline. I'm like, well, no, I'm getting phone calls for this Part B stuff, and they keep asking, is this Kevin? She goes, oh, I know the name of that company. She
Really?
goes, yeah. She goes, that's very common. So
Oh,
she gave
wow.
me the name,
Uh-huh.
and she gave,
Oh, nice.
and I called last week,
Uh-huh.
and I got somebody that wasn't a salesperson, and I
Uh-huh.
said, and I gave him the motherfucker.
Nice.
No, did you say, hey, is this Kevin?
Yeah.
I said, I continue to get phone calls from you people. I hit the number 2. You continue to call me. You're not taking me off the list. I said, and how do you think I got this inside phone number? I said, you people are really fucking with the wrong ex-FBI agent.
right.
I said, so I'm going to give you a couple of phone numbers, and you're going to get me off the fucking list. I said, or I'm sending in my guys.
My God.
And this guy was like, okay.
All right.
Yeah. So it's been a couple of weeks now that I haven't gotten a phone call from them.
Nice.
So I guess it worked. Having
Yeah.
somebody on the inside that got me the actual corporate number.
Right.
Because you can't get it because they spoofed the number.
Right.
Which I look at that as being a businessman, and I'm like, okay, here's your job. You're trying to sell stuff. Why you got to be a fucking scumbag?
Yeah.
And spoof the phone number and try and sell me something with that phone number.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to buy that stuff?
Right.
I don't care how legit you could be. Blue Shield or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Could be the Red Cross. If you're not going to give me a legit 800 number when you call me or a real phone number, I don't want to know you.
It's like everything else. They just go on the percentage. Whatever
Yeah.
percentage they accept as being viable, whether it's a 10th or an 8th, then they figure they're ahead of the game.
It's just ridiculous, that these corporations do this stuff.
I watched this guy, one of the guys I watch on YouTube, I think he's Russian. I don't know, I can't even say his name, but he does a lot of tech videos and computer tech videos. So, and he knows his stuff. So
Yeah.
I just watched one yesterday where he said, you know what it's like when you want to download something off the internet, maybe a PDF or a program. He says, and then they want your email address. They want you to log, he goes, and you don't want to do that because now they're going to be sending you stuff forever.
Sure.
He showed this site. It's like in 10-minute, I think it's like called 10-minute email. You can go on this site and you do register on this site, but they're not going to fuck you. And you when you want an email address, they'll issue you one, and it's good for 10 minutes. So you go to the other site with that address, you download what you want, and now that email address is gone. So they can't.
That's smart.
So, and then he showed another thing yesterday with DuckDuckGo for making phone calls. He says you can go through DuckDuckGo, and again, you get this. The email address is like this weird string of characters. So you can use that. It's kind of like being in disguise. It had something to do with a phone call though, but it'll actually transfer over to your real email address behind the scenes. The other people will never see that. So it's a way for you to cloak yourself. So he finds out all this stuff, just by banging through the program. So
Yeah.
wild stuff.
That's a smart idea is to have a spoof type email that you would use when you want to download stuff.
Well, it's only good for 10 minutes and then it's gone.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like that's what we did with the phone number I used for the radio show, when I was doing it here from the house, my cousin, who's a big tech guy, says, "Hey, you got a Gmail account?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a Motormouth Radio at Gmail." He says, "You can get a phone number from Gmail." I'm like, "Really?" So he walked me through how to do it. And sure enough, you log in with your Gmail account, and there's a way to get a phone number. You can pick the area code, you can pick the exchange, and then you can scroll through a bunch of numbers and find one that you want. I'm like, okay. So I took that number that we used, 256-9510. It was easy enough to say. Yeah, I had to pick a good radio number that you could say on the radio.
Yeah.
And then it says, name your number. I'm like, FBI surveillance van. You know, you could name it Nassau County Police. You can name it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Trump security detail. And then the light bulb went off in my thick head, and like, this is how they're scamming people, because you get a phone call with a name, and it's just a spoof name on one of these phone numbers. It really is just bullshit.
Yeah. Well, like these boiler room deals where they're calling you from.
Oh, to get
who the hell
racks of
knows?
numbers. They get
Yeah. They're using voice over IP.
Right. It's all VoIP, yes.
And any company can get a VoIP account.
And that's
then
what
you
the Gmail
put in
is.
whatever you want to put in.
Right.
You know.
So that's why I think what I'm going to do now is,
like.
like, if I want to start selling stuff, I'll use that phone number because it does link to my own phone. You know, I'll get the call. It'll just come through on that number, not my regular cell phone number. So I won't get these idiots calling back.
The newest scam, which they're probably doing it everywhere, but they're doing it locally down here. The electric company, one of the electric companies here, especially like mine, is TECO, Tampa Electric.
Right.
Right. So these scammers are using voice over IP. They're calling you, and the caller ID says Tampa Electric.
Wow. Yeah.
And then you answer the phone, and you'll get a recording that says, "This is Tampa Electric bill collections."
Yeah.
And you have an open invoice for whatever, $362.22, and
It's my cable bill.
right. And it, if we don't get paid on this, a service technician will be in the area in the next hour to shut off your electricity at the meter.
Right. Scare
So
tactic.
if, right. If you want to pay, press 1.
Right.
So
right.
you press 1, and then the guy or the girl that answers the phone also says Tampa Electric Collections Division.
Yep.
And they talk to you very calmly. You don't hear anybody in the background.
Yeah.
They're like completely legit, and they're actually using the real telephone number for
Wow.
TECO.
Wow.
Right? So I know that my bill's paid.
Yeah.
And I get this phone call, and I hung up the first time. Then the next time when they called, I was like, oh, I could play with this.
Yeah. Sure.
So I hit 1, and the guy comes on, Tampa Electric. I'm like, yeah, what's up? I go, you guys are looking for money. He goes, yeah. Let me look up your account. And they use like the same amount of money all the time, I guess.
Yeah.
He tells them 365, 22.
Probably the average bill.
I'm like, yeah. He goes, how do you want to pay that? I said, I'm not paying it. He goes, we're going to come shut your electricity off, in the next hour. I'm like,
Come on over now.
I said,
Yeah,
go right ahead. I said, it's my fucking ex-wife. I don't give a shit. Shut the power. The guy was befuddled. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, oh, I don't live there. Shut the power. I could care less about her and the kids. I says, I got my little gumata here. I don't need her.
And
I was like,
and my invalid mother-in-law, I don't give a shit about her neither.
right?
So shut off her oxygen tent. I don't care.
So I had this guy going for about 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah,
And then I finally said, you're a fucking asshole. I said, you think I don't know that my TECO bill isn't paid? It's paid, jackass. As a matter of fact, it was paid a week ago.
Right.
Cut your shit.
Yeah.
Click to hang up on you.
So look, the FBI, the Black Suburbans are already coming for other stuff I did. So you guys might as well come too.
Oh,
we'll have a party.
I get the Black Suburbans because every now and then I'll get a phone call from a guy who claims he's a sheriff.
Oh yeah.
And that I haven't paid a $6,000 income tax bill. And there's a warrant for my arrest for tax evasion.
Nice.
and they actually will, if they get to your voicemail, they'll leave you a phone number to call.
Yeah.
And then I call that number back, and the guy actually answers, Sheriff Johnson here. And I'm like, yeah, okay, what? You called me.
Yeah.
You owe us for income tax. I said, I ain't paying it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to pay that. I go, no. I said, it's illegal for the government to collect money like that. I go, don't tread on me. I'm not paying a tax. Well, we'll come arrest you. I said, fine. Send the guys into black Suburbans. That's exactly what they're going to do. They'll come pick you up. The officers will come get you. I go, make sure they're wearing full body armor. I'm talking riot gear.
Yeah.
I said, because I got guns. He goes, yes, so did they. I said, yeah, but I got guns with bump sticks and ones that have been modified to be fully automatic.
There you go.
Said, and I'm an ex-Vietnam vet, which means I got big bullets.
Yeah.
they just hang up. They can't deal with it, you know.
And
It's playing their game.
You know, since when do sheriffs collect IRS debts? You know,
I know, but people believe this.
I know because it's the intimidation factor.
Totally. And with it being in Florida, think about it. If they're calling me, how many freaking grannies and grandpas are they calling?
Well, yeah, they call you and say, hey, listen, your grandson's been arrested. We need, $300 right now. And then they wire it because,
Right. It's like you would love to find out where these people are.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, that's like, you want to do harm.
I think they're all in Pasco County.
Could be.
Yeah. They're over the bridge.
That's a shithole.
I got a friend that lives in Pasco. Actually, my brother lives over there.
Yeah. Well, Pasco's got a lot of really nice areas.
Yeah, but he's in Weeki Wachee.
Yeah, that's way up. The
mermaid
weird
capital.
part. The weird part is if you're over, like Spring Hill, and like a little below that, near the coastline, is some of the biggest like drug dens and prostitution rings.
Yeah,
all the stuff that you see on TV.
Yeah, a lot of bikers over there too.
Yeah, all the stuff you see on TV when Cops goes on, or Police Live or something like that. They always wind up in that part of Pasco. That's where all of the crackheads are. It's amazing.
My buddy John's in Clearwater.
Clearwater's way south. That's Pinellas. Yeah. Right.
Pinellas, yeah.
Speaking of Clearwater, Clearwater, St. Pete, they're like right next to each other.
Okay.
I watched a YouTube video. It's a conservative guy that goes around and he tries to find like Democrats to ask questions of. So he's in St. Pete, and the video came out a couple of days ago. And St. Pete is a very liberal city. A lot of rainbows, that kind of stuff. So he went there, and he's like, "This is like the most liberal city in Greater Tampa area. We're in St. Pete. We're going to talk to some people." So he kept finding people and saying, "Hey, can you tell me something awesome that Joe Biden has accomplished since he's been inaugurated?" And it was nothing but like dumb looks. What has he done? What accomplishments has he done? He was talking to some black couple, and they couldn't come up with anything for Biden. And he goes, "Well, what about Kamala Harris?" And the girl looked at him and like, "Who's that?"
Who's that?
Really? Who'd you vote for?
Yeah, really.
It was amazing. And then he happened to find a couple of right-leaning people.
Right.
And one of them was some woman who was from New York. And she was like, "Don't get me started because I know this video, you'll censor me. So I'm leaving."
I just finished a book today called The Hard Hat Riot. And it was about the riots that happened in the city in 1970. It was all the students from all the liberal colleges that were protesting the Vietnam War. And it was right after Kent State, because that was like in May. And this riot took place in June. And it was all the hard hats, the guys building the World Trade Center and all the buildings in the city who were very pro-American, World War II, Korean veterans. and their big thing was, hey, these kids are desecrating the flag. That's our flag. You don't do that.
Right.
It was really more about that than anything. But it came down to these riots with thousands of people. But the way the guy wrote the book, he was really comparing what happened then to what's going on today in the Democratic and Republican parties.
Yeah.
And I tell you, so many times a light bulb went off. I'm like, holy shit. It's the same thing that was happening then that's happening now.
Sure.
It's all over again. The trust, the mistrust, the miscommunication, the government lies. It's like everything just repeats itself over and over and over again. And
all you gotta do is you can go back each decade, and I have Time magazine from 1945 all the way to 89, basically. Time magazine, and you can go back any period and open up that book, and it's the same thing with just different names.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's unbelievable how stupid we are that we
Constantly
cannot learn
repeats.
from that. And
Yeah.
it's funny that like we had a intercounty connector that was built. And my house was ground zero, basically where it was supposed to be, you know. And it's funny that, you know, it's been 5 or 6 years that it's actually been up. It's, you know, 4 or 5 miles down the road from my house. And it's so funny when somebody says, do you realize that, you know, the intercounty connector was like 10 years? And I was like, actually, dude, I got paperwork that goes all the way back from the 40s when they were going to start building this road. I mean, you know, it's just how stupid that, you know, that is. And that's our biggest problem. You'd think by now we would learn.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, we do the exact same thing over and over and over again. That's why there will never be any change between black and white, red and green, purple and yellow, or whatever, dude, because we will never, ever get past that.
A lot of that was in this book. Yeah. Because they were talking a lot about, you know, Nixon and Lindsay was the mayor and how, you know, and the same thing.
John Lindsay.
Yeah. They said he was like a real media hound. They said that, you know, they had all sorts of names for him, like the Playboy mayor, because the guy was, you know, good looking, blonde hair. He was always tanned. He cared more about how he looked, and he was tall and thin, so he had a good persona, and he cared more about the media aspect of things than actually governing the city. And that's way before media became a thing. You know, we're talking 1970. You know, but there's so many times reading that book where I just said, "Oh my God, that's going on now." And the last chapter was about Trump. He just wrote the book like last year, so it came right up to Trump, and you know, went through Obama and into Trump, and still you can see that the same things. You know, just like you said, it just doesn't change. We're kind of destined to repeat all the wrong stuff.
It's
and that
constantly
goes,
do that.
And that goes all the way. And the reason why, my opinion, I don't know anything. I just drive around in a tool truck. But
It's a toy truck. What do you mean?
We've had the same people in power as in the Congress setup.
That's
that
right.
We've had those same people. Now, you know, we've had, like I said, you know, the president is just a figurehead of that type of thing. Of course, we have our checks and boundaries, and we check to make sure and all that BS. But when we have the same people for the last 40 plus years there, that's why this will
about
never.
that yesterday.
You know, you got your Supreme Court judges have life appointments. Really?
Yeah,
for life?
I know, right?
I mean, no term limits on the, you know, senators and congressmen. And they get all their part. Like, sure, why would they want to do anything more than their special interest stuff? It's like this.
I made a big post about that yesterday because I was listening to the news, listening to Congress grill. Who were they grilling? The Attorney General. Again, he was there for a second grilling.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to these 70-year-old white guys that can barely speak. And it just aggravated the crap out of me because, like, one after another would ask the exact same questions of this jackass,
Right.
just slightly worded differently. But they can't even get a question out. It was like, and I'm like, I got infuriated that I made this post on Facebook about these fucking old white guys running this country. When the fuck are you going to retire? You've
I'm
been
so
there
glad.
for 50 goddamn years.
I'm so glad Bernie Sanders has been out of the limelight because I couldn't stand him.
Well, they've been talking about him a lot today.
I know. But I tell you, Mitch McConnell is every time that guy comes on the TV, I just want to shut it off. I can't listen to that guy.
I know.
I cannot listen to that guy.
I was
Can't do it.
infuriated just listening to this shit, and I'm like, they need new blood. They got to get rid of all of these fucking old white guys.
They won't let it go.
They come from a generation that doesn't. These guys come from a generation of like 34 Fords.
Right.
They don't know nothing. They don't know shit about what's going on today.
And look,
They never had to pump gas. They never went to the grocery store. They've been working in the fucking in the Capitol all their lives.
We used to have, well, we still have it. We have, Burtonsville Day, and when the girls were all in Girl Scouts and the dance studio, they all would be in the parade, for Burtonsville Day. And of course, all the politicians would be there to shake hands or, give out stickers and all that BS. And
right, all these creepy old guys.
Yeah, so they would come down and I would always say, of course, they would come down and I'd say, I have a question, and they said, oh yeah, how what can we do to? I said, how much is a gallon of milk? And they'd say, what? A gallon of milk? Yeah. What's the cost? What's the cost of a gallon of milk? Well, I said that's the problem. I said, you have no idea what it's cost for me to buy a gallon of milk to put on my table for my kids, and you're walking around here with your, being an asshole. Well, and that's not what, and of course I get shuffled off.
Exactly what it is. Yeah.
But I said that's the problem. You don't know what it costs for a gallon of gasoline. You don't know what it costs for this stuff. And and like I said, that's the problem.
In this book they were mentioning about at that time that there was a whole big thing with the busing issue. They wanted to bus black kids into white neighborhoods, and of course they said all the parents were up in arms because they didn't, want that, and they were going to bus white kids into black neighborhoods.
Including your current fucking president that said he didn't want his kids to go to school in the jungle.
Well,
Yet all of these black people that my wife works with think he's the best fucking thing since sliced bread.
yeah.
And then she whips out her phone and she goes, yeah, watch this video of what he did when he was a freaking congressman or a senator. Here's what he said. Do you think that's being racist? Oh, my God, I didn't know that. She goes, yeah, well, you and a lot of your friends need to get a goddamn education. How you doing with gasoline these days? Oh, it's really expensive. Yeah, well, why'd you vote for Joe?
Yeah.
Because last year, your gas didn't cost this much.
That's
Even though
right.
the guy that was in the White House was a jackass, you didn't pay this much.
Yeah.
What's it costing you now to go to the supermarket? How much more per week for your groceries?
That was kind of the point that they were making.
They're all starting to figure it out now.
Where they were all trying to go for these social programs, and busing was the hot ticket, and it still is. It comes up every once in a while with school integration. But they said all the politicians, all their kids went to private school. Every single one of them. Every single one. So they didn't have a horse in the race. So yeah, they could do whatever the hell they want. They could pontificate as long as they want. It didn't matter to them.
This is the problem.
It's a disconnect.
They own the media. The media is on their side no matter what they do, no matter what dirty fucking shit they got going on. The media will cover their ass forever. And the general public is not smart enough to think for themselves. This is a country of followers. This is a country of, oh, well, David Muir said it, so it must be true.
That's the guy's name.
I read it on Facebook,
Right.
so it's got to be the truth.
Right.
My neighbor, he's a doctor. He's pretty smart. He says this guy's good.
Yeah.
This country is just millions and millions and millions of fucking brain dead assholes.
Yeah.
And that's what you get because of what you have.
So
That's a
I
big
know.
problem. That's why I'm the one that's going to wind up getting arrested, because I'm the one that says we need to start over.
I know
It's
what
going
I
to be
know.
a bloody way of doing it. It's going to happen.
I know for sure what Justin did that he was going to get. That he was going to get himself into a room with 3 disgruntled old white guys that were talking
That's
shit
it.
at night. He thought he was going to talk about cars.
I know.
Yeah, let's get back to fun stuff.
Poor guy.
Like,
Yeah.
look at this.
Oh, you
Look at
get
this. I found.
He feels like he's surrounded by all his asshole, like his crazy uncles or
We're
something. You know? They're
educating
like,
them, though.
on
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving.
This is a 60 Ford.
Nice.
What is this? Country
Al-
Squire?
Country, what's that? Flowers on the roof?
No. It's a Ratfink.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
It's got the wood panels. That's
Yeah,
Country
I know.
Squire.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Put a 390 with a 4-speed in that baby.
Yeah. It's got the
On the
I
tree.
it's got the yellow headlights, right?
Yeah, my yellow headlights. Excellent.
Oh,
It's got the yellow headlights and it's got the yellow tinted glass.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta get back in the picture.
That'll be the next step. Be the tinted
So,
glass.
We gotta.
That's
I tell you, I used that's the Laminex stuff I used, and those
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah, it did.
that film is thick. You peel it off the backing, and I expected it to be kind
Is
of
it a little
flimsy.
rubbery?
Like, yeah, I expected it to peel off the backing and be kind of like very like a decal, very thin. No, it had thickness to it. You could feel it, and you just drop it on the center, and you just start pushing the center, and you just go with circles out. And just the only problem is the halogen lights I have that have those 3 nubs on them. Those
Uh-huh.
So I had to take an X-Acto knife and cut around the nubs so I could clear
Yeah.
them.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
funny
really
because I didn't get a chance, but I have a set of.
Oh, you got the Hellas, right?
Well, I got I got Hellas, but I also have a set of 60 14s. Those are the big 7-inch ones, the regular headlights.
Oh, yeah, like the bird.
Yeah.
The round ones, the big round ones. And they're yellow glass. They're from Europe.
CB's
Yeah, they're old CBs, and they don't have the replaceable bulb in the back. They're sealed beams, they're
Sealed beam, yeah.
And I used to run those because the Mustang was dark metallic blue, and I had yellow headlights.
They make the blue tint too.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I love the yellow up against. Actually, I was going to dig them out. They're in the shed. I was on because, like I said, they're ancient, dude. I like. The only problem is if I brought them out, I'd be so afraid that if they broke, because I don't think you can find them anyplace.
Probably not.
I mean, I have
Do
the
some
other
research
CB.
and see if you can still get stuff like that. And maybe
Yeah, I know. That's
keep the
stuff.
originals and buy the new ones.
Because these are. See, these are CBs here, but these are the. Those are the ones that you can replace the bulb.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see now, I could have done that too, but then you have the yellow bulb, but you don't. I wanted the yellow glass. I
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
yellow.
right. The yellow
Just what I
bulb
did
is
is
good when it's lit.
My car is a gold. It's a gold color, and I put yellow high beams in it. I wanted to kind of set it off. So that was. They came in the mail Monday. I got home from work at 3:00. I went right out to the garage. By 4:00, the job was done. It's
you
like,
go.
I already had the lights out. I took them out like the week before. Done. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I had some yellow bulbs. I don't know.
I got a couple yellow replaceable halogens. I used them in the motorcycle years ago. It's like a 55-60, and the other one's I think a 60-80.
Yeah, that's
Oh my.
if you like these are
Square.
square ones. The ones that don't have the tits on them are motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and because they don't have that for the headlight
Adjustment.
machine or the
Right.
adjustment.
Oh, is
And,
that what those things are for?
Yeah.
I have a tool I bought from J.C. Whitney back in I think I got it in the early 80s, and it's a yellow plastic cup that you put on, you index it on those 3 tips on the headlight,
Oh, here.
and it's got a bar.
Mm.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a big bulb. Wow,
Yeah.
big one.
Wow.
Looks like a butt plug.
Yeah.
Jeez, light that thing up. Feeling good. But yeah, you put it on the headlight and you level it. You get so to make it level with the car, and then as you adjust the light, you can see the level move. So you can get just a down and dirty headlight adjustment.
How do those nibbies do anything with the headlight adjustment?
It's just the tool indexes onto them.
The tool indexes.
That's what it's got 3 feet, and the 3 feet grab those 3 little tits, so the tool just stays put. pretty
And
much.
I've always done a wheel alignment. I mean, a headlight alignment by turning the lights on up against like a white wall.
Yeah, go 25 feet back.
25 feet back, and then just making like I'll take a piece of masking tape, put it on the wall
Right.
at the height,
That worked.
and
Yeah.
then just do this, move them up,
And
move
then-
'em
and then
in,
you
move
have
'em
your-
out, walk away.
The relay, yeah,
Your old
Gotta have
school
the help.
Bosch relays.
30 amp relay, yeah.
I found a thing on. I'll have to send you the link on Facebook Marketplace. There's a company that's selling 30 amp relays.
Uh-huh.
The cases interlock with each other,
Oh yeah. I got
Okay.
those
and then it's got a 30 amp fuse.
like this.
Yep.
Yeah, on the top of the relay.
This is them. These
That's
things on the side will interlock with the other relays, and that's
Yeah.
the fuse for the power side of the relay.
I thought that was so awesome.
Oh yeah, this way you don't have to run a separate fuse,
Right.
on that
It
leg.
makes for a neater wiring deal.
Yeah, but I bought a box of these. I think I bought a box of 6
Now-
or 8 of them.
Let me ask you a question: pull the plug on it? Can you push the tool in and knock the wire out and then rewire it? Because I don't like to use butt connectors.
You can, because I don't like no one ever uses blue.
Right. So is there a tang and you can unlock them and then I can just
Yeah, you
get-
should be able to.
get
Yeah.
the right spade connectors and then use those tools that I bought from American Auto Wire and do a really nice super duper crimp. Because I would rather, I'd rather wire my relays directly and not have to do that butt connector deal. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Wire.
Yeah, run the wire and direct.
It may be that the screwdriver I'm using is too fat and won't get under it.
Yeah, but you can see that it's got the locking tang on it, right? So I can use my little tool that I have and
Yeah, I got all my
pop them
tools
out.
out in the garage. But yeah,
All right.
and these
'Cause
were
I'm gonna have probably about 3 or 4 relays that I need to put into the car, and it'd be nice if I could just gang them all up next to each other like that.
Yeah. This is the LED online store. The crazy thing about relays, Brian, maybe you got the answer to this. Even in the stock applications, why did they make it so that the tab that mounts to the body is on the relay and you pull the plug off? They should have had the socket mount to the body so you could remove the relay, but they mount the relay to the. So you take the rusty screw out every time. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. That's why I'd rather use a board, like a relay board that you can just plug them into.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know why they did that, but the OEMs did it.
Yeah.
They mount the relay, which is stupid because that's the serviceable part. The socket isn't. That's the part you keep.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a whole drawer full of that stuff. And then I had I was going through the junkyards, and they had the German fuse boxes were just little square boxes about yay big that had in and out, and it had a cover that went on, and you could put your fuses in. They work out great because like I said, they had I think it was 10, 10, and a 5 or something. So like I said, you could, if you only need a 5 fuses or whatever, you could just set that all up anywhere you want. It was really, those are really nice if you could find them. and then I had a cover that bolted up over top, and it was waterproof, or had a seal. So
Now they make relays with waterproof. It's like a
weather pack or whatever.
with a weather pack connector, so that's a waterproof relay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Usually, I'm like that.
I saw something on Instagram this week. A guy had a fuse box, and in each of it was like a glass to take glass fuses. In each of the holders, they had like a bolt. One was this way, one was that way, one was this way. So the bolt heads were opposite, all different size bolts.
That's the way to do it.
Never gonna blow.
Never.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just burn the wires down.
oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the old days of pulling into 7-Eleven and always needing some aluminum foil.
My Fiat has those old German style fuses, the ceramic body with the
Uh-huh.
wire on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's a name for those. I don't remember what they're called, but that's what my Fiat has in it.
Do you guys paint the gassers that you build, or do you send them out?
We do that in house. Really stuff we don't do.
Yeah, you're
Like-
all breaking up.
Break it up again, Justin. Twist the dial.
Yeah, we'll just
Twiddle.
a little, yeah. Getting it?
Once in a while.
And this
Yeah, that's a big connection.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Hey, working.
better.
Yeah.
We do all that stuff in house. We're pretty much full service shop.
Oh, that's good. That's real good.
What was
My-
that?
My body guy posted on Instagram and Facebook. He was doing a Sunday. He was painting a couple of pieces on a Corvette, and the car was like a new Corvette blue that's got like some kind of flip flop in it. It's $1,000 a gallon. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Well,
He was showing it. It's a beautiful blue metallic with a flip flop in it. It's a brand new blue from like 2020.
That's
or
not that bad
2021.
because back when Ford had that flip flop on the Mustang, that was $600 a quart, and that was
Wow.
back in the '90s. $600 a
Yeah.
quart. That was like ridiculous. So
Yeah, I was pretty surprised. That was $1,000 a gallon, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Just I saw the pictures you put up of the that Cougar. That's a cool looking car.
Yeah,
What
That's
kind
another
of
one we
wheels are
built.
those? What kind of
Rockets.
wheels are on that car? They're rockets.
are rockets.
Very
Yep. That we had powder coated.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, the customer
Oh,
wanted
wow.
them powder coated, that kind of gold color.
Right. It's like it's dark goldish bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
nice.
that's a-
Nice looking.
Super cool car. We're gonna have that down at Autorama this year.
Nice. What's under the hood? What power is that car?
So it's originally a 390 car. It's a 428 Super Cobra Jet at this point.
Nice. Nice.
Oh yeah,
What-
Yeah.
428. Wow.
With a C6 or is it a real transmission?
C6.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a real.
Well, some guys don't play with three pedals, you know.
No, yeah, this one he had
Yeah.
the C6 all built, and yeah, we just got that engine back. So yeah, I'm just getting into the car. Hopefully, wired up. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Lou posted a picture of Biden,
Uh-huh.
and it says, a man who's been in politics for 50 years and accomplished nothing just told Americans that his patience with them is wearing thin.
Yeah. There you go.
He was creeping me out today because I'm driving, and he had to go to Congress because they're not voting on anything. So he's not winning anything. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And he was so worried about having a feather in his cap when he goes
Right.
to Europe for this summit.
Right. Right.
And he's going, and he ain't getting shit because she didn't vote.
For the $1.7
nothing.
trillion
Yeah.
tear
So-
down bill.
He was there, and he's doing the usual deal. He's reading the same propaganda he's been telling everybody for the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And I knew what he was doing, but I'm just listening to it on the radio. And he's talking of taxes, taxing the rich people, the billionaires and everything.
Right.
And I noted, I didn't get to see the video, but I know he was leaning in and he was going, just pay your fair share.
Right.
And I'm
right.
like, pay your fair share. And I'm like, this fucking dude is an absolute creep.
He thinks he's like the subliminal messenger.
Yeah. I'm like, who the fuck does he think he's talking to like that? You know?
Right.
Just pay your fair share. No, you're a fucking idiot.
I do
Because
pay my
these
fair
guys,
share.
these guys
And then
that
some.
have billions of dollars, to just put more of their money offshore.
Yeah,
You ain't
they
gonna
just move it
fucking
somewhere
get
else.
it.
Yeah.
You're fighting the wrong fight.
No. The
You know?
politicians should know best of all that the guys with money know how to make it and they know how to keep it.
Exactly. And you know what? All the power to them. We need 100 Elon Musks and 1,000 Bezos.
Yeah.
Let them do what the fuck they want to do.
I say
They're
bring back
moving
Ross Perot.
technology forward.
Yeah. Right.
You know? Unbelievable. There's always going to be these guys that are uber rich. Okay? Doesn't affect me. But you know what? Trickle down theory, it works. Because these dudes spend the money for the technology, and I get to go on Amazon and go ding, 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 and some dude shows up at my house the next day with the product.
Oh, speaking of that, my buddy Chris, who you'll probably meet next week, his wife was at Target shopping, and she wanted to get the daughter a Halloween costume. And it was like the girl was packing up the Halloween stuff and putting out Christmas stuff.
Well, Christmas stuff has been in Lowe's since the beginning of October.
So she asks, like, hey, what are you doing? I need a cut. She goes, listen, we don't have anything else. She goes, we didn't get any other shipments. And she says, let me tell you now, if you want Christmas stuff, you better get it now, because we only got like a half of a truckload of what we ordered, and it's going to go fast. So if you need anything, get it now. Otherwise, you're not going to get it later on.
So you know what I say? Because that's their whole mantra, that the press and and the media. Oh yeah, you got to get on it. Don't be the last minute person. Buy your stuff now. Get it done. Don't wait till Black Friday. This and that. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck them all. Don't buy anything.
There you go. Boycott it. Yeah.
Boycott the whole thing. Don't buy nothing, because the stuff is going to come in, and guess what? There's going to be a glut of product, and who's going to lose? Not me.
They are.
The big corporations will be sitting on this shit. They won't be able to give it away. When the bottleneck out in California finally starts to open up, because of the way they're pushing this and pushing that, don't buy shit from these guys. Fuck them all.
Yeah, we
do
would
what you got to do, and just have your little holiday with your family or whatever. If you got kids, they'll go, okay, go buy a couple of things for the kids, but screw the businesses.
Well,
totally.
That's it. We were talking about that because we're lucky, our kids are older. They're not little kids anymore. They're adults. So at Christmas, it's not what it used to be. You're not going out and buying it. I'm not spending $1,000 in Toys R Us every year,
Yeah.
So
I remember those days.
I was like, all right, we got all our decorations. The thing is that maybe we will or won't be able to get a Christmas tree. I don't know. I said, Dina Parisi, when they moved down to Georgia, she made a post. They had a practice tree, a drag strip tree, and she put that in the room with her helmet. And that was like, she decorated it with like some tinsel. She goes, "Hey, here's our tree for the."
I got a giant 10-foot tree, fake one. Cost me like $900.
Yeah.
Bought it a few years ago. It's spectacular. It looks like a real tree, and it's pre-lit, and it's actually got good lights. And then I put lights on it.
Yeah.
And after a couple of years, I just got tired of it.
Uh-huh.
And Barb was like, well, the kid doesn't live here anymore. It's just me and you. She goes, we should just get a Charlie Brown tree.
Yeah, right. Right.
So we go to Lowe's, and I buy a tree that's like, I don't know, like maybe 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
For like $12.
Yeah.
And hang a couple of balls on it, stick it in the corner, go, done.
Yeah, done. Right.
There you go.
I used to decorate the whole house. I don't know if you've ever seen it. If your wife showed you any of the posts that I made years ago.
You showed me
it used
stuff.
to be
You did
like
the palm tree?
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's like I brought Brooklyn to
It's like
Tampa,
Bay Ridge.
Right. I had lights all around the whole outline of the roof, the
Yeah.
peak of the roof, hundreds and hundreds of lights, the big ones too.
Yeah.
What are they? C3s or C5s
Yeah.
or 7s or something. Big lights there all around the gutters, up and down on what they call the belly band on the house. There's like a trim band in the middle, up and down there, all around the windows, up and down the palm tree, 50 feet in the air, doing the palm trees. I had to rent the lift, the whole nine. Did all of that. Then I said, you know what? I'm done. And Barb came up with this great idea. She's like, well, you have all these LED spotlights that light up the whole front of my house. When you come around the corner in my development, my house is lit up like Luna Park.
Uh-huh.
I've got these white LED spots all along the front of the house that splash the whole front of the house. You ain't getting near my house without being seen by the camera. There's just way too much light, you know? She's like, we should just change all those spotlights to red and green spotlights.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We went to Lowe's and we bought like 30 red and green bulbs. And we go out there, unscrew the white ones, put in the red, green, all the way down the line. 20 minutes, Christmas is ready to go.
Yeah.
Like January 7th, I go outside, I take them all out, and I put them back in the box, put the white ones in, I'm finished. The Christmas tree, take that, stick it right in the garbage pail.
Boom.
Finished.
Yep.
Done.
Done.
Don't have to do anything. It used to be weeks worth of work. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, most people would start like after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, and it's because you want to do it when it's fairly warm.
We used to decorate for Halloween. I found a boatload of Halloween decorations and lights. We used to light the whole house up in purple and orange. And then I bought one of those systems that makes the lights go on and off with the music.
Right.
And in that controller was a couple of settings for Halloween. You know, howls and screams and creaky doors and the whole deal. So we would put out the bales of hay, the pumpkins, the scarecrows, the cobwebs. And then I got all of these purple and orange and green flashing lights. And we would literally decorate the house for Halloween. Then that would come down. And then Thanksgiving, I would do all of the Christmas decorating. And Thanksgiving Day, we would turn on the Christmas lights that night.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I would let that stuff run until the first or second week of January, and everybody would drive by because it was all these lights and, you know, the whole 9 yards. I got a lot of compliments on it, and then stopped doing the Halloween stuff. Don't do the Christmas stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I wait till like 2 weeks before Christmas. We change all the bulbs.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Nice
and easy. Finished. I don't want to hear it. You know,
I used to climb up on the side of the house and do the whole, like I said, the whole contour of the roof with the bulbs. I do it from the top down. And I had this, I had a Santa in a sleigh, and I had an air conditioner on the side of the house. So I would mount that so it was like tipped. So he was like flying, taking off. And the reindeer, and I put the reindeer in front of that, mounted that off the roof. You know, I had to rig all of that stuff and then light it. And, you know, it looked great, but it was like when the kids were little, I was doing that. You know?
Yeah.
And then I finally started
into it. I was totally into it. You know,
I told my wife, I said, "Hey, you know what?" I said, "We're doing this for the people who are outside the house. It's not you don't see it inside." I'm like, "I'm done. I'm gonna do this anymore."
It got to the point where I'm like, you know, I just don't want to do this anymore. I mean, I was climbing up on my roof, doing all of that stuff, sitting. I mean, all the way up on the highest peak, where the roof soffit vents are up there. You know.
Me too.
Doing all of that, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. So I grabbed one of the guys that works for me. I'm like, hey, you want to make $50? It's like, what do you got going on? I go, come to the house Saturday afternoon. I said, you got to climb on my roof.
Yeah.
Put the lights up. I'll have everything set for you, ready to go. I said, my fat ass doesn't belong up there anymore.
Right.
So he was like, yeah, no problem. So he would come, he'd put them up, and then he'd come and take them down again, you know?
Sure.
And then I got to the point where I'm like, I'm not doing this at all anymore. And then my neighbor across the street, he was moving, and he bought a piece of property with a big house on it.
Uh-huh.
And I went over there and I said, hey, I said, you know all those Christmas lights I do? He's like, yeah. I said, I'm not doing them anymore. I said, you want the lights? He goes, I don't know about that. And his wife overheard, and she goes, yeah. I had these giant plastic tubs. Literally, there was probably 10 or 15 totes that held all of the Christmas stuff. I had just so much stuff. So I started walking him over there on the hand truck. I gave him all the outdoor lights and everything. He sent me a picture come Christmas. He was like, look what you did.
No, look what you did.
Yeah, I said, oh, it looks good.
I
It
just
looks
surprised
really
you.
good. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was that. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to become a minimalist, you know?
Right.
Don't need it. There's a lot of stuff here. I get my jollies every year when I get to take a banker's box that's full of checks and IRS stuff and paperwork, and now it's old enough that I can shred it.
What was it, like every 6 years? You gotta save it for 6?
Yeah, I think
7?
6 years or 7. I don't know what it is.
7 years.
Every year I get throw away a box. You know,
Yeah, but then you put a new one up there.
Oh yeah, I put a new one up there, but I take it to the shredder and I go,
Yeah.
one more year that the IRS can't do jack shit.
There you go.
It was funny. Last Thursday, I had a young guy, shop owner. He's I don't know. He's fairly young, 20 something, and he bought a shop from an older guy that had gone out of business. Or not gone out of business, sold him the business, and Juan was pretty funny. He goes, man, Mr. Brian, he goes, you're pretty smart. I found this tool and I have no idea what it is for. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, where is it? So he showed me.
Oh,
It's
oil spout for
An
a
oil
can.
spout, yeah.
An oil spout phone. He goes, man, I don't know what this thing is. And I said, it's an oil spout. And he goes, well, what do you mean an oil spout? And I said, well, back in the day, the oil was in a can and you had to stick that in. And he's like, he has that look on his face, you know? And I said, do you have a coffee can? Where's your coffee? You know, and he comes out with his coffee can, you know, a Folgers can. And I stuck that thing down in there. And I said, now you can get the coffee grains out, you know, out. And he just said, oh, that's how it works. And I was like, that's how it works.
That's funny. Next, you got to show him the bottle with the big neck on it.
Yeah. Well,
Actually,
I have a guy that his dad used to own American or, you know, Amoco or now BP. And I meant to take a picture of when I see him Tuesday. I'll have to take a picture of the ones that look like the milk, like an old milk jug, you know? Right. And
I don't have any of those.
Yeah, I don't have any of those either. I like to try to find one, but
they're thick glass too.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, those things are heavy.
It's like
but it was funny when he goes, man, he goes, I don't know, what the hell is this tool for?
Right.
That was funny.
My buddy's got a collection of all of that old stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got oil cans. Remember, the oil cans, they were like cardboard with the tin top and bottom, right? He's got Wolf's Head brand oil.
Yeah. Sure.
He's got all of these old oil cans, and I'm like, oh my God. And you know, these are old, and the cardboard still has not deteriorated.
Yeah, no.
To the point where they're gonna.
I got a couple older. I got some Ford. Transmission fluid. Yeah, I got some Ford stuff and it's really cool. And ATF cans like that and all kinds of stuff. Those are on the other side of the garage.
Because it's been so long. You know, when I got out of the cars, I didn't have to mess with anything. Last year when I had Rocco's Camaro here, and I had to fill up the transmission with transmission fluid. And I called the guy that built it from Select Performance. And he was rattling off, you know, different types of transmission fluids.
Yeah, there's a shit ton.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I had no idea that there's all these different kinds of transmission fluid these days. You know, it used to just be the stuff for like GM, then it was like Mercon and the Ford stuff. Yeah, ATF. And I'm like, now there's like 20 different kinds of fluids. And I'm like, really? Yeah, Motorcraft. Oh,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
Cool.
What is that, 1030?
Yeah. No, this is 1540 Super Duty.
1540.
Yeah, 15 Super Duty.
So that's like near the end of the run on cans like that.
Yeah. This one. But this one came empty.
Oh, wow. Cool. Good display.
Yep.
I used to use when I first had the Firebird with the first big block. I used to run.
Sorry, Ray. I was a little faster.
I know.
Kendall.
I can't. It's buried. I can't even. I don't even know. I can't even get to it.
I used to use that Kendall's like straight 40 weight.
Yeah.
Green oil. Yeah.
Yeah, green.
Well, that's that's the oil I use in the Pontiac now. I use Brad Penn because it's high zinc, but it's the old Kendall. It's still a dark green oil. It's the old Kendall blend.
Yeah.
You know.
That stuff was awesome. I never had a problem. Never spun a bearing. Never had an issue. Always had good oil pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing if this thing had a date on it.
They don't usually date oil cans.
Because I know this one, I pulled this out of a case. I was working at the auto parts store, and this was back in 83, 84, 83.
Good year.
And when I pulled this out to put it out, I realized it was empty. So it's never been, I mean, it's
awesome.
Still has, so.
It's like you said, John, there are more different transmission fluids. And now it's like antifreeze, too. There's all the different antifreezes.
I went through at Walmart. I needed some antifreeze, and I couldn't get over how many different things because they had heavy duty, Euro, Asian, domestic. They had 50-50. They had straight. They had something else. But I was like, I just need some antifreeze.
Honda, BMW, Mercedes, and Toyota all have their own.
Yeah.
Really?
Then they had green, orange, red.
I've seen pink.
And like a pink or whatever.
Yeah, well, the deck's cool for the GMs is pink.
I just use like Prestone, the green stuff, or
Green stuff, yeah.
or Peak, the blue stuff. Right. And I never buy the pre-mixed stuff because it's like, why would I pay for their water?
Right.
So I always buy the thing that's the regular stuff, you know. Right. But I haven't. Last time I bought antifreeze is when I had the Camaro here. So it'll be a little while before I have to buy any more to put in this thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes, there's so many different kinds. I guess it's because A, the temperature that these things run at, B, the fact that everything's got an aluminum radiator now.
Yeah.
That makes it different. Copper brass was a totally different deal in terms of chemical compounds.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
Well, everybody wants their own nickel.
Yeah. Right. So, hey, you know, I'm wondering, it was so weird. It kind of just came to me. The radiator that's in the 81.
Uh-huh.
It's the original radiator.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had it over the years. I had it cleaned a couple of times, and I had the radiator guy solder pennies over the ports where the automatic transmission cooler is.
Oh, wow.
In the radiator itself. He just put a penny there and then heated it up, took solder, and soldered them closed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if that's an OE radiator. I wonder if that thing's worth any money.
It's worth the copper. You know, the copper goes for some bucks.
It's not like I'm worried about selling it or nothing, but it's sitting in the other shop.
Right.
the way it was when
Unless somebody needs the numbers. I
when I
have
put the,
Right.
the shroud on it. Yeah, it still has the tag.
Yeah, I have for 65, 66 hypo or high performance 289, they had a different radiator. And I had the top tanks, and I mean they sell for a couple $100. I have the top tanks of with the numbers on it for those cars.
Right.
If anybody wants a primo restoration thing.
It's
So,
probably just going to hang it on the wall.
yeah.
That was a good. That radiator worked out real well for me because I used that big like 15 or 17-inch electric fan that they put on the Corvettes,
Yeah.
and I built an aluminum shroud to hold that fan.
Yeah.
And that car never got like above 185 or 190, even on the hottest day. Because I didn't put a thermostat with that fan. It was just on and off on an on-off switch.
Yeah.
So it would run. And then when you'd pull up to a stoplight, it would actually overcool the car.
Yeah.
You know?
You
See
need
all
to
the stuff
speed.
today. They got these like, 1-inch oval core aluminum, double
Yeah.
1-inch cores. And
You
I'm
needed
like-
a speed activated switch. So when you slow down, the fan would come on. When you were faster, it would
Yeah.
turn off.
Well, I could have just put a thermo switch, but I was lazy.
Sure.
It was more of a race car than a street car.
Right. Right.
So you'd fire it up, and I had all mechanical gauges.
Yeah.
So I knew what the temperature was, just getting in the car. I knew what the temp was before I even fired it up. And I would just let it run for a few minutes and then just flip the switch on. And
Yeah.
I just let it run. And then when I'd shut the car off, I'd shut the switch off. It wasn't,
Right.
there was no electronics at all. I didn't put any of that stuff in the car. It was just so much easier to wire it that way.
Yeah.
Direct, right to a relay. See you later.
Sure.
Yeah, the first time I did that, and I forgot to turn the switch on, so then I just wired. So when I turned the car on, the fan came on.
Power on, sure.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to do that with my running lights on the tool truck because I forget to turn them on, and of course I'm like that idiot that driving down the road because the dash is lit up and everything. So you like people are like looking at you. You don't have your lights on, and it's like. Then you realize
That's the thing I love about my truck. When it starts to get dark, everything comes on automatically.
yeah, the day
If you put the windshield wipers on, the headlights automatically go
Oh
on.
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
The daytime running lights on the tool truck, the module went bad, so I jumped it. So that's the reason why they don't come on anymore by themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll just put a switch in where that was, and it works. But like I said again, half the time I'm driving down the road and I realize I haven't had don't have the lights on. Of course, I'm usually the light. I mean, until the time changes, I'll be all right. But
Yeah. When is that stupid daylight savings?
Saturday or Sunday?
I think it's
This
Sunday.
week?
Yeah.
Sunday,
Halloween
Saturday.
I thought it was
Saturday,
into
yeah.
November.
No, late Saturday night.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Stupid. We're not farmers anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll be all right. I mean, like I said, but I was thinking I got.
Oh, so Bryce, you're good for 2 more days.
Yeah, I know. Well, I got two of the LED lights are burnt out, so I have some coming, so I got to replace. And I figured by that time, when I do it, I'm just going to go ahead and wire it. So when I turn the truck on, they run. Turn the truck off, they turn off.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Because, like I said,
lights off in this store and get the hell out of here.
oh yeah, I got to get ready to run credit cards. Get my list ready. Check it
I already
twice
did
to see
mine.
who's been naughty and nice.
Right. All right, so we'll follow the new protocol so that we don't cut ourselves off on the stream. So, first we'll say for Lewis Lee, we've been on Playing in Traffic, Ray Guarino, McNamara Brian, Chassis John, and Justin now from the Gasser shop there, our new participant. And John, what do you always say? Now I gotta say to Chris. I say to Chris. I say, hey Chris, what does John always say at the end of the show? And he's laughing. I'm like, no, you gotta say it. We're done.
If you like the use of your legs,
There you
you
go.
will not follow us home.
Don't follow us.
By the way, excellent drops.
Oh,
I
okay,
was
cool.
thinking I should have you do one with the phone number in it too.
All right, I could do that.
And then I gotta send that over to Kim to have her put that in. And I gotta go through. I got 2 pages on that computer of stuff. I told her I took pictures of it last week, and I was
Oh,
gonna
little
go through it.
snippets of stuff to put in from programs.
Yeah, and some of them I can get rid of, and I just haven't done that yet. I don't know what. Maybe I won't get to it, but
Those are the best. All those little drops.
yeah.
I always hear that one. When I listen to you on my laptop, I got to keep that thing screaming.
Well, that's the promo that Chris made, and those were actually taken from the live shows.
Yeah.
I
Because I was
keep-
having problems with this computer.
Your old right, the laptop. I know exactly what it was.
Right.
So I keep I isolate clips, and I do it really for Mother's Day, and I'm looking for something that's like a minute and a half to 2 minutes long, or a little longer. That's a Mother's Day bit. But the other stuff like that, Chris will even extract it from a Mother's Day bit, little pieces like that to make that promo, and that's all the all the callers who say stuff. So. Yeah, Brian's in that one too. He goes, "Yeah, we know Chris isn't the sharpest drill bit."
Drill bit.
That was another good one.
Poor Chris.
I know. He's a good sport.
We have answers.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't be a tool now.
right. Don't be a tool,
There
man.
you go. All right.
Um,
Later.